the second day of our first ever Data Analytics Summit 2022. Yes, you heard it right. First ever. And for sure, everyone is really excited for this. So, without further ado, let's get started. I am Shermay, an associate from the Junior Financial Executives of the Philippines, St. Louis University.
And I will be joining this very beautiful and intelligent lady today na imbag nga aldaw kada kayo amin. My name is JP, also an associate from the Junior Financial Executives of the Philippines, St. Louis University. As your hosts, we are excited to present to you today's topics: data analytics and business finance, going beyond numbers, and blockchain technology and Bitcoin revolutionize our digital world.
Before we go further, we would like to take this opportunity to express our deepest gratitude to everyone for taking the time to join us today. Rest assured that this event will be a great learning opportunity for each and every one of us.
Data Analytics Summit 2022 is a 3-day webinar series. A certificate will be given after the last day of the event for all eligible participants. But before we start, we would like to give a few reminders first.
May we request everyone to mute their microphones to prevent unnecessary background noise when our guest speaker is discussing.
There will also be a designated time wherein we will be interacting with each other, so we are looking forward for your active participation. We advocate the free and open exchange of ideas and thinking. We take pride in facilitating meaningful dialogues and professional collaborations. We take our responsibility to protect the free and open flow of opinions and ideas very seriously. We strongly condemn the use of inappropriate remarks or any hateful behavior. Let's maintain this webinar as a welcoming, polite, and safe space for people to learn and express their perspectives.
Once again, on behalf of the Junior Financial Executives of the Philippines, St. Louis University, we welcome you to our Data Analytics Summit Day 2.
Let us begin this day's session by asking for divine intervention as Miss Angel De Jesus, Junior Phoenix Associate, leads us all in a prayer. This shall be followed by the singing of our national anthem.
Let us bow our heads and feel the presence of the Lord. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the people who made this event possible. We gather here today to gain knowledge and wisdom under the guidance of you, O Lord. We are grateful for all the gifts, life, and love you have bestowed upon us. May you bless our speakers, facilitators, and participants that we all may get through this with newly found inspiration to take one step closer to our dream. Today, we hope that you will lead us so that we may do our best to learn from all the knowledge and experience that our speakers will share. We hope that we may utilize these things to improve the quality of life for today's generation. Help us in working together and motivating one another to achieve excellence. We hope that you will guide us through our journey and be the best as we can be. We pray believing in the mighty name of our Lord Jesus. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Ayan.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Ayan, so magandang hapon ulit sa ating lahat. Day 2 na ng ating Data Analytics Summit 2022. Grabe partner, nung first day, ang dami ko natutunan. At for sure, marami ulit tayong matututunan today, lalo na interesting yung mga topics. What do you think, partner?
Of course, partner, kitang-kita naman sa dami ng umattend last time, di ba? And today, mukhang mas dumami at mas naging interesado pa sila sa mga susunod pa nating topics, no? Sabi nga ni Miss Janine last time, talagang napakaganda ng bungad ng ating taon dahil sisimulan natin to ng isang napakalupit na webinar. So, sa mga participants natin today, let's maximize the chat box section. Pa-comment naman ako ng DAS 2022 if you're excited for the summit second day. Alright, ayan. Grabe, nafe-feel ko hanggang dito ang excitement and energy ng mga participants natin this afternoon. Kaya naman, kamustahin muna natin sila, partner.
Ayan, grabe partner. Kung participants from ibang schools. So, tignan nga natin kung sino yung mga pinaka-active. Guys, pa-comment naman kung what school are you from. So, out of our 391, hi pala sa mga 390 participants natin dyan. Marami tayo from USEP. Hi mga taga-USEP, very active. Syempre hindi rin papahuli ang Tarlac State University. Ayan, perfect. Visayas State University, grabe. Layo ha, in fairness. Hello din sa mga taga St. Mary's University. Welcome po mga taga Occidental Mindoro State College. At syempre, hindi rin papahuli ang ating mga SLU delegates na talaga namang lumalaban pa rin.
Alright, talaga namang ang daming interesadong mas matuto pa sa data analytics and its branches of application. So, why don't we hear from some of them, partner? Ready ka na ba? Mag-interview naman tayo ng ating mga participants today at tingnan natin what are their thoughts and expectations on our event today.
Tama ka dyan, partner. Magtatawag tayo ng pang participants para exciting. So, let's start with Mr. Julius Adrian Juarez. Hi, Mr. Juarez.
Hello po.
Hi. From what school are you from?
Bulacan State University.
Hi sa mga schoolmates ni Mr. Juarez. Kamusta ka naman?
Ayos naman po. Ayos naman po.
Yeah. Do you have expectations or questions sa event natin for today, lalo na't mga bigatin ng ating speaker, no?
Gusto ko po matutunan pa po yung mga fundamentals pa po regarding po sa financial executives natin. Gusto ko po malaman ko ano pa po yung mga pwede pa po nila i-share na mas lalo po ngayon, mas useful po yung kanilang mga ideas and thoughts on how to deal with the world right now. And yun naman po, yun lang po.
Okay, thank you. Grabe. For sure, sasagot lahat ng tanong mo ngayon. Thank you, Mr. Juarez.
Sige po,
Alright, thank you so much, Mr. Juarez. Ayan, magtanong pa tayo ng isa pa sa ating mga participants today. So, it's your time to shine, Miss Dicano. Hello, Miss Jeremy Dicano. Can you please introduce yourself to us?
Hello everyone, I'm Jeremy Decano po from SLU Baguio.
Oh, hello, Miss Dicano. Mukhang magkakilala ba tayo? Miss Dicano?
Medyo.
All right, and may I know your expectations, or do you have questions that you want to be answered today?
Actually, as of now, wala pa akong question. Pero hopefully, after ng first speaker siguro, saka ako magre-raise ng question kapag kasi wala pa akong masyadong idea about sa topic. So, yan.
All right, thank you so much, Miss Dicano. And shout out sa aking mga classmates dyan from SLU.
Ayan, talaga namang bong-bigo ng ating mga participants for today. Thank you, guys. And it was so nice to know you. And we really hope that we get to meet your expectations and answer all of your questions today. So, without further ado, may I call on again my very dashing partner, Mr. JP, to introduce our first speaker.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor for me to introduce our first speaker today. And I would like to remind everyone that at the end of his discussion, participants are actually given the chance to raise questions and our speaker will happily answer your queries. So please feel free to send them to our chat section. Our speaker is a Bachelor of Arts and Economics graduate in Ateneo de Manila University with a master's degree in finance in the University of the Philippines. He has been a chartered financial analyst since 2018, who also garnered an executive diploma for real estate management at Benilde School of Professional and Continuing Education. He is now taking up another master's degree in data science and data analytics at the University of the Philippines, Bonifacio Global City. His career started and bloomed as an instructor for macroeconomics at Ateneo de Manila University. He also served FactSet Research Systems as a research, process, training, and content policy specialist, focusing on data collection and training and assisting business analysts. There, his role expanded to being a business analyst, and he works on improving business processes, supervising the developmental research team, and spearheading several projects which deal with knowledge management. He also became an associate content manager in the same company later on. In 2013, he became a financial consultant in PruLife UK, wherein he educates, assesses, and assists clients when it comes to their financial needs. He also became an assistant unit manager who manages being a financial consultant while focusing on the leadership and management aspects. For more than 2 years, he also took part in the Faculty of Financial Management as a part-time instructor at the University of Santo Tomas. Moreover, he also became a part of Cushman & Wakefield as head of research and consultancy, and later on as an associate director, head of data analytics and Lichu Property Consultants Incorporation. Currently, he is an assistant professor too at De La Salle University, teaching derivatives, including valuation and synthetic strategies, and was a chief analytics officer and chief data scientist in advanced tech lending. Our speaker is an experienced head of analytics with a history of working in the real estate industry and an outstanding professional, skilled in databases, management, sales presentation, training, and of course, finance. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Francis Adrian Viernes.
Thank you, everyone, for that very generous and very nice introduction. So I'm very happy to be invited to share what I know. And for that, I'm going to... Okay, let me just share my screen with you. I have a presentation, and hopefully, I encourage you guys to really ask a lot of what you think about the use cases that will be applicable to you, because the way I designed this webinar is that it should be very practical for you. Na parang after neto, you would even go out and even do the code yourself. Okay, so yun ang goal ko. So after this, you see that data analytics right now is no longer going to be kind of like a competitive advantage, but it's really a must. And you guys na nandito pa kayo sa college, you're very lucky to have experienced this while you're young. And I'm very excited to share it with you. But for now, let's have a little game. who can tell me what this kind of video or rather data set is or are? And maybe, sige, just type in the chat box and maybe we'll remember kung sino yung nauna, di ba? So, the future, well, it's really just bragging rights and networking, right? So, first picture, can you tell me what this data set is all about? Okay. Okay, so who can tell us what this is and what data we need? Anyone? Teka, may nagsasagot na ba? So, no one? Sige. If no one will answer, I'll give my own. But sayang naman. Sige. This is a map of Facebook's network. Now, it tells you the connection of people with friends across the globe. So, for example, if you have a friend in the US and you are part of that graph, where one of the lines is the Philippines and the other one's connected to the US. So here, you have to think, okay, what is the particular data here? So it's more than, it's going beyond the numbers, diba? It's telling you what? What is it beyond the numbers that you see here? It's connection. Not just connection, of course, but network. Now, as you go along, and I believe that's why you're attending all these webinars, connections are, well, something that you might want to study and, well, in conjunction with your finance data set in order for you to truly maximize them. And later, we'll learn a little bit of that. Okay, how about this one? What do you think this is? Of course, there's no right answer for this one, but really just tests your perception or intuition. What do you think this particular visualization shows us? Okay, thank you, John. Okay, of course, location, Google Maps, very good. So yeah, we have answers now. Now, if this is your first time, population density, oh, I like that answer. Okay, local map, pwede rin. Well, it depends on your particular use case, but you see here, ano ba yung ginagawa natin dito? We have data, we have numbers, but what am I really asking you about? I'm asking you, what do you think this is? So here, I'm asking you of a potential use case and ang dami yung naisip, right? So what is it that is, well, beyond the numbers for this one? Story. Look for the story. But ako, okay, walang right answer, walang wrong answer. All of your answers can be correct. So pwedeng Waze, tama. Lahat ng gumagamit ng Waze. Pwede din lahat ng gumagamit ng location. Pwede rin density. I like that answer. Very macroeconomics. Ako naman, as a real estate practitioner, iniisip ko, that's kind of points of interest. For example, saan ko ba makikita lahat ng McDo? Saan ko ba makikita lahat ng Starbucks, for example? So yeah, concentration is also a really good answer. So in that case, aside from the connection, what we are looking for is what? Story. What's the story behind this? And later, as papakitaan ko kayo ng mga use cases, at sobrang dali nito for you guys na after nito, I hope you're inspired to do your own data analytics story and to map it out. Okay? Now, next one, ito, madali lang to. I think a lot of us here are Instagram users. So, go. What do you think for this one? This is not something for real estate or ano, but we are familiar with apps, so we may as well discuss this. What do you think is this? Ano kaya yung pinapakita ng story na to? Diba? Para tayong psychologists where pinapakita lang yung video or picture. What do you think this is? There are no right or wrong answers. Diba? So, what do you see? And of course, I'll tell you what is. Website phishing. Okay, that is correct, Mary. Actually, guys, for this one, I'll tell you a story. There was a case where you want to study using analytics which one are usually fraudulent account. Now, did you know that we have a finding that if it takes you more than 3 seconds to enter in your last name, okay, if it takes you more than 3 seconds to enter in your last name, then more likely that is a false account. Why do you think that? That's a fake account. Why do you think that is? Well, studies show that ever since you were young, for example, you might be using Instagram by as early as 15 years old or 13 years old. All those years have trained you to enter in your last name. If it takes you more than 3 seconds to enter in your last name, more often than not, that is a made-up name. Hindi siya natural sa'yo, so ang tagal mo mag-isip ng last name. Okay? And that is where we get not just here, okay, in the particular Instagram app, but let's say you're signing up for a bank app, GCash, diba? Email or a bank account, diba? If the answer takes you too long for something that you have been supplying all your life, it's more likely a one. Okay, so dito naman, aside from connection, what is it that we have here? We have here, in this case, pattern. Diba? Beyond the numbers, we are also looking for pattern. And maybe just to make you more well equipped with this pattern, I'm going to give you another use case before we go to the really finance one. And the finance one are really, really nice because, you know, that's really my expertise. I'm a financial analytics expert. So I'll show you this. So now, let's see how these non-traditional forms of data, connection, story, and then pattern, create value for us and for you guys, and how they will help you revolutionize your career personally, professionally, and well, just in everything you do, even in your relationships, if you can find patterns. Now, let's break it down with one of the most popular content provider we have right now, which is Netflix. Now, with the first image, with what you see, the program creates a prediction first, maybe based on your demographics. So if this is your first time logging in into, let's say Netflix, okay, what it will give you is a prediction that is based on your demographics. Say you're a male living in, let's say, Davao, okay? You're a male living in Davao, and all males in Davao, 10 p.m., well, are watching this. They're watching All of Us Are Dead, the Korean Netflix. Your rating, okay, I don't like that, or I like that, etc. Then that will be added as an input to customize your suggestion. So as you use it, the machine learns incredibly. Now, how does that get factors into your customization? So let's say, for example, if you look at this one, this is Stranger Things, right? I think you might have seen this where you open Netflix and you are kind of stunned that they really have just, all this blank thumbnails. They just have the name. So you might ask, why don't they have the thumbnails? Well, as you can see here, the Stranger Things is title's blank, and whatever thumbnail that will be chosen there will be dependent on your past choices. So, for example, in this case, if you are maybe a fan of blood, maybe the one that will be displayed is this. Kaya siguro you might be wondering why, oh, if I open my friend's Netflix account, it's not the same. Iba yung thumbnail niya. And if, for example, you're a fan of teenage romance, you probably will get the lower middle, right? Or maybe you like, you like kids adventure. So maybe you'll get this one or maybe this one, right? Or they kind of look like Ghostbusters. So in this case, depending on what you chose in the past, that would be learned by the machine, and then the machine will choose what thumbnail to predict. Now, just to break that down, let's say, for example, you have this one. This is Pulp Fiction, right? Pulp Fiction. There are two potential Pulp Fiction thumbnails that we are considering here. Let's say, for example, before the Pulp Fiction recommendation gets out to you, you have been watching Kill Bill, Prime, and Paycheck. With this tree, after we've watched this, then the machine learned that you're likely to choose a movie if Uma Thurman, this actress, the name of this actress is Uma Thurman, is in the thumbnail. So therefore, what Netflix will show you is the Pulp Fiction with Uma Thurman. But let's say, for example, you've been watching Killing Season, Grease, and then Urban Cowboy, where John Travolta is in the page or the thumbnail. Then more likely than not, Netflix will display a thumbnail of Pulp Fiction where John Travolta is the picture. So in this case, it's is how you get, let's say, more clicks and more advantage with your thumbnails, right? So here, patterns are being used, not just numbers, in order for you to make data analytics decision. See, notice, guys, I haven't really been telling you very technical things. I haven't been teaching you techniques, because at the end of the day, all those techniques will be dependent on the patterns, the story, and the connections that you first envision. You have to be able to understand what you're trying to look for in order for you to apply the techniques. And later, I will show you what type of techniques you can use. But just to kind of bring home this case, let me just show you one video, and let me and just to see this pattern in action. Okay, so there. Okay. So as you can see there, what we had there was, well, we kind of have a visualization dynamically of how it happens, where when the time was booked and where they went. That's actually patterns and story, more than just they're beyond the numbers, diba? So you're not looking at the numbers, but you're looking at the connections, the patterns, the time, diba? And it really makes a compelling use case after, or rather when coupled with numbers. It's beyond the numbers, but also using the numbers. Okay, so kaya dito nagkakaroon ng surge pricing, di ba? How do you get surges? They calculate na, okay, dito sa place na to medyo marami yung 7 o'clock, and therefore kung nandito ka and konti yung supply and demand, therefore we can use pricing to kind of adjust or recalibrate the forces of demand and supply. So those are our use cases. Now let's go to how we can revolutionize our use cases, both for personal and professional use. But before that, I don't know if you have seen this, and probably you have, but let me just show you the different type of analytics that we have. So maybe later we can link them to our to our current discussion. So, of course, the first among that is what we call descriptive analytics. You probably have been doing this, and maybe in a lot of your projects, or in maybe schoolwork, you are being asked to describe a data set. So it's mean, median, mode, standard deviation. But of course, in real life, what you will be using, and descriptive analytics is actually very powerful. Like you have to divide, let's say, right now, maybe you're trying to test, and so it's so relevant that maybe you want to get the voter preference, for example, for different types of presidents. You want to get that for across demographics, so you have there the mean, something like that. So descriptive analytics is kind of the first, but if you've been doing that, and you have been doing analytics for a while now. Okay, now the next one would be diagnostic analytics. Well, with diagnostic analytics, we're here to consider what happened and why. Now, in my work and in current work, and by the way, I think I haven't updated my profile. I'm currently now working as the Assistant Vice President and Head of Data Analytics for Mega World Corporation. And with that, Mega World, what we're using is we want to, for example, identify what causes the price to increase. Let's say what causes the rent to increase. So that's kind of diagnostic analytics. So if it happened, what could have been the reason? Is it foot traffic? Is it car traffic? Okay. Next would be predictive analytics. Now, this one is probably the most important one that will be asked of you for up to the basic to intermediate level. So it's very, very popular. Let's say, for example, if I do this, what would happen? Predictive analytics. Now, in finance, of course, I'm going to teach you the top one, or well, the prescriptive one. With this one, this is called the prescriptive analytics. Where prescriptive analytics, when we're doing that, we're really trying to prescribe, make a suggestion. Okay, and
Recording in progress.
in this particular type of webinar, this is where I'm going to teach you how to apply analytics to make those type of prescription. So in the future, if you want to be like very rich applying analytics, you can, but I'll teach you how. Of course, not the technique yet. That will come if you add me, let's say on LinkedIn, and maybe maybe if you apply as an intern to Mega World, I'll accept you. Diba? So maybe if you want to do that, we can do that. And of course, we have a data analytics team now there, and I train my people there with data analytics, but I'll teach you how to do that when you're there. But for now, so that you'll be engaged enough, and well, not to give you the technical for coding. Okay, now with that, okay, of course. Now, since this is primarily a webinar on how data can transform your work and personal life, we will refrain from talking about the technical know-how, but focus on the real estate possibilities. So right now, so up to until now, that was just an introduction. Number one, we will have here the first topic, what it means to revolutionize. Number two, data revolution. What does data revolution mean? And number three, revolutionizing your work. You will have your both finance and real estate cases, baka kasi magustuhan nyo. And of course, number four, your personal use cases. Yeah? I think you might enjoy the personal use case. And number five, how you can transition. In this particular one, I'll also teach you how to transition, or well, get your mindset into it. And parang, no, I am a finance person, but I also want to have an analytic skill. Kaya niyan. It's kind of like the same path as I took. But when my introduction was being given, they said na I really started in finance. And actually, I just started analytics, guys, 2 years ago. I haven't really been, well, mostly naman talaga descriptive analytics meron. Pero yung talagang heavy, 2 years ago. But how do you get that into becoming, let's say, ahead kagad, diba? So you can do that as well. I'll teach you how. Now, revolutionize in a way would mean that we change something fundamentally or radically. So for example, when we say the Industrial Revolution, then we refer to a time when we were doing things in a certain way before, and now we can no longer play them again in the same manner. So, well, the quote would actually say to redefine the game in such a way that the game can never be played the same way before. So halimbawa lang halimbawa, may mga bagay na kapag ginawa mo na siya ngayon, sobrang dali and sobrang ganda na hindi mo na nakikita ang sarili mo na ginagawa ulit yung ginagawa mo dati. Maraming ganun eh. Like for example, maybe in the past, you were collecting surveys using paper. Diba? When you were collecting surveys sa paper, may thesis kayo. But now, you can collect survey using Google Forms. Diba? Now, if you can no longer see yourself collecting survey in paper form, then that is an example of revolutionizing it. Now, what we want to show here is that you can also revolutionize your life na pag nagawa niyo na to, hindi na kayo babalik. Pag naturuan ko na kayo ng techniques ng data analytics, parang ayoko nang gumawa ng investment decision nang hindi ko nagagawa yung data analytics. Okay? So, yan yung ibig sabihin ng revolutionize, na hindi ka na makabalik before. Okay? Now, here we have data revolution, which is the second part of our course. When we say revolutionizing, we also meant to transform. But how does it really transform our decisions? So, okay, ito guys, pricing a condo or house and lot. Well, at the end of the day, okay, real estate na ako, di ba? Mega World. Okay. Alam natin na kapag ang condo mas malapit sa mall, mas mataas ang price. Or kapag ang condo mas malapit sa train station, mas mataas ang price. You don't need data analytics to tell you that. Medyo may kutob ka na mas mataas siya. Intuition. You know why? Mas malapit ka sa bibilan ng tao eh. Intuition lang yan. Logical lang yan. Common sense lang yan. Right? But when you have data, it can tell you by how much. So ngayon, pag may bibenta ka ng bahay or condo, pwede mong gamitin yun. And of course, iaano ko siya sa inyo, ituturo ko siya sa inyo, so that in the future as well, baka balak yung bumili ng condo or magbenta ng condo or ng lupa, alam nyo kung paano gamitin si data para gamitin yun. Another one is asking salary or increase or initial salary. Guys, in your class, dinuruan na ba nila kayo paano mag-negotiate ng salary? But if hindi pa, of course you can use data. They cannot argue about data. I cannot tell you how much I've argued my salary to increase just based on data. Okay? So sobrang, yun yung pagre-revolutionize. Like for example, okay, si Francis, head of data analytics, dapat mataas yung salary. Pero what's the data? If I show them the data, the intuition is supported. So this is what we mean by better business decisions. Okay. Now, for a professional use case, number one, let's say, for example, we want to budget the cash flow. So in this case, cash flow plays a key role in the success of the company's operation. Now, while cash flow obligations may be fixed, there are multiple ways to meet these, such as borrowing from a line of credit or raising short-term commercial paper. Now, of course, each action has, however, a corresponding cost. So let me just show you that. So let me apologies, let me just open something. Let me know kung kita yung ano ko ngayon sa inyo. Google. Is my browser seen or is it still my presentation? Presentation. Okay. Do you see my Google screen? Not yet.
Not yet, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, sige. So, okay. Now, for those of you guys who wants to become a really good data analytics practitioner, I'm happy to say that I actually give out codes. I teach people step by step kung paano siya gawin. So you follow me in my stories. So here, I actually create a lot of stories. So I think dito siya. Okay. So, finance tayo, di ba? So, I have a use case here, optimize. So, I think one of my sort of cash flow. Now, let me show you what this is. This is the code. So, halimbawa, sinabi sa inyo and this is the real life use case, hindi to katulad ng nasa school nyo na parang very hypothetical, nangyayari talaga to. Let's say, for example, your boss allows you, for example, nag-first job ka na. Okay. Tapos parang, okay, Francis, ito yung mga may kailangan tayong bayaran, sabi sa inyo ng CFO, may kailangan tayong bayaran 125 million sa January, 180 matatanggap natin sa February siguro kasi pag nagbenta ka ng condo may pre-selling, di ba? 180, may matatanggap tayong 175, meron tayong negative, gagastusin 400, and then may matatanggap. So lahat ng positive cash inflow. Now, paano ko siya ma-make sure kung ito yung available option sa akin, pwede ako mangutang, pwede ako mag-reinvest, di ba? Yan, yun yung sasabi sa inyo, prescriptive analytics. Paano natin siya i-make sure na we get one best answer? You might think, guys, that the answer there is, it depends. It depends yung answer. So pwede to, pwede rin to. No, this is a mathematical problem. Of course, again, I promised you, hindi ko kayo tuturuan ng technical. But of course, in my Medium account, nandito yung technical, pati yung codes. Now, masyado siyang but again, at least dito, you will be able to face yourself. Diba? So, parang, ayoko muna siyang basahin, pero at least pag nag-gets nyo dito, paano ko siya ginawa, you will see that there is one correct answer here. It's a mathematical problem, and here are the codes. Yan, Python codes. And you know what, guys? If you go out and get this Python codes from a consultant, it's actually very, very expensive. Baka charge pa kayo ng like 100,000 pesos, 200,000 pesos. Kasi these are, codes are intellectual property, but I display them for everyone. So you can just look at this one. And as you can see, ito yung dapat yung i-invest. Invest kayo ng bonds and you will answer all of that. Okay? So, use case number 1, go beyond the numbers. Of course, there is also the interaction of those codes in order for you to identify the one correct answer. Hindi siya, it depends. When it comes to saan tayo pinaka makakatipid, if that is the phrasing of the question, that is an objective and it only has one answer. Okay? So sige, let's show. Actually, marami pa siya guys, but let's just go back to the presentation. Okay, there. Next would be, so ito yung cash flow problem. So yan, positive numbers is cash inflow and then yung mga ano is negative. Okay, so don't stress yourself. Pinapakita lang natin that you can use analytics to really save a lot of money. And I think pag dito, for example, baka pwede niyo pang i-ask yun as well, can we use that probably as bonus, di ba? Kung if you save your company that kind of money, di ba, and you have the skills, why not? Yeah, and of course you can brag about it. The second use case that we can probably use is use case fraud detection. Now, in this case, with fraud detection, you'll be able to analyze, let's say, so parang, with the patterns that we have, we might be able to identify, how much would a person of 80 years old be investing, and then bakit this 80 years old na parang may retirement, ni-withdraw niya lahat. So that's actually parang money laundering, diba? That's an example of that. You can even use this in case, for example, kapag all those credit cards, yung mga food panda, di ba nagiging issue siya ngayon? You can use machine learning to identify, is this transaction more likely an aberration? But for the past few days, or for the past few weeks, you've been spending only 20,000 or 5,000, and then ngayon 20,000 na. So if that's the case, then maybe this is something that is suspicious, and if a flag niya yun as unlikely. Okay, you can use that in that case as well. And magiging marami kayong job opportunity sa fintech if you know this kind of machine learning. Again, I have a lot of materials that can teach you how to create machine learning models. So you can just look at it there. Okay, and not to overwhelm you naman with this one, just to give you a lot of possibilities. Prior to Mega World, I was also working as the head of data analytics, or rather chief data scientist or chief analytics officer for fintech, advanced tech lending. Now, we call this what we alternative credit scoring, because right now, before, the way banks would give you, let's say, a loan is, so if you have a lot of loans before, then that's how we check if, for example, if you're a good payer, diba? Or a bad payer. So if you had loans and you're a good payer, papautangin ka namin ulit. If you had loans and you're a bad payer, hindi ka namin papautangin. But did you know, and this is something that you should be discussing sa credit courses niya, did you know that pag wala kayong utang, you are considered bad payers as well? Kasi wala silang makitang history sa inyo. Diba? So, no credit history is as bad credit history. So dahil wala silang data to assess you. Okay, so hindi namin alam kung bakit bigla ito mangungutang, hindi naman ito nangungutang ever since. Okay. So with that, we have now other types of ways to assess whether or not you're a good payer. Diba? Kasi in that old way, kaya nga to revolutionize in that old way, then yung mga walang utang before, hindi pa lalo sila makakautang. So parang perpetual yung cycle. But with this new case, for example, with app data, what we're doing here is that you're using your gaano mo kadalas gamitin yung mobile app, gaano ka kadalas mag-Facebook, gaano ka katagal, location mo, nasa Makati ka ba? Kasi for example, kung nasa Makati ka ng 8 to 5, ibig sabihin ng job mo nasa Makati. So mahal yung salary mo. Or pag nasa province ka ng 8 to 5, then ibig sabihin more likely lesser than kung pag nasa Makati. So yung probability of loaning might be actually lower. So something like that. And ano ba yung mga app na nasa ano mo, nasa phone mo? May utility ba? And then may social ka ba? Gaano ka kadalas mag-Facebook? 2 minutes, 3 minutes? Or are you on Facebook for 7 hours? Nakalag lahat yan. Using all those new data or data continuum, then you can actually have more models that are dependent on not just your prior history. So again, di ba, beyond the numbers, connections then. Okay? Now this one, personal use case. So we now go to the personal use case. Maybe you want to be able to tell you which stocks to get and how much to allocate. Now for this one, let me show you. Let me show you that. It's also in my stories. Okay. With this particular use case, if you can actually know this, okay. Okay, ito. The easiest way. Actually, ito magugustuhan nyo to. It's just one line of code. So here, okay. With this one, I will tell you, for example, ito yung pinipili mo, Mega World, Cebu Pacific, BDO, Ayala Land, Meralco, Ayala Corp. Yan, kunwari, yan yung pinagpipilian mo. Okay? I can tell you how much to invest in each of this. So parang dito, huwag ka daw mag-invest kay Mega World, 0%. Pero mag-invest ka kay Sububac, 10%, 10.6. Kay BDO, 27.8. Again, this is not parang it depends case. It will be parang okay. It is also there's also one correct answer, and this is the what we call kaya nga siya tinatawag na optimal portfolio. Imagine if you can do that for all your friends na nag-invest na parang ano ba yung tamang investan? Ilan ba dapat invest ko kay Mega World? Diba? Before data, what will you do? Siguro invest ka muna ng 10%, tapos pag tumaas, dadagdagan natin, or pag bumaba, penta kagad, something like that. Intuition, right? Kaya nga, di ba, may slide tayo. But, using this code, ito lang, yan lang, malit lang na yan. Yan. So, yan, install nyo lang to. Yan. Then, you will be able to know, okay, eto pala, 10.6, 27.8, yan yan. Tapos huwag ka daw mag-invest kay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Huwag ka daw mag-invest kay Meralco. Tapos huwag ka daw mag-invest kay GGS. Diba? Kung ito yung mix mo, pwede mo pa yan baguhin, pwede mo dagdagan yan. So pwede dagdagan mo ng A-REIT, D-REIT, kung ano man. And you can also do that with crypto. Diba? So see, you don't have to guess. Diba? So yeah. Of course, yeah. Kaya nga guys, for those of you looking for internship, just connect with me kasi syempre I'm teaching this with to my students and to my interns kasi I want to give back something to my interns naman. Okay? Of course, personal use case, you can compare your options for down payment. So, bibili ka ba ng condo? Pag bibili ka rin ng condo, then you would be able to identify and compute using just DCF or discounted cash flow, which option to buy. Diba? Pag bibili ka ng condo, option 1, option 2, option 3. Again, you might say, depende kung ano yung pwede. But if you can afford all the options, there's only one correct answer. Diba? Ang daming ganyan in real life where you're presented a lot of options, but in reality, there is just one correct answer. Diba? So using data, you'll be able to find out. And if you are all finance people, it's very important for you to be precise kasi with this one, this is millions of pesos. And if you're working for a company, it might be billions of pesos. Diba? So analytics can really get that. Now, of course, selling real estate. So before, paano ba kayo magbenta ng real estate? Paano ko ba ito magbenta ng bahay ko? Siguro 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, hula-hula ulit, diba? But with analytics, you can do this. So real estate use cases naman tayo. Now, as you can see, what we've done here using analytics, which I teach my students as well, is we get all the listings from Property24, Lamudi, My Property, and RentPad, and combine them. And we instantly see that there is an upside with this method. We have multiple listings. Whereas kung ikaw, magkano ba yung kapitbahay natin? Magkano ba diba? So parang wala siyang data. Now here, what you will do is combine them, and then we get the characteristics per listing. So for example, yung bawat blue dot na makikita mo dyan, that may be a condo. Diba? So yan yung mga nabibenta. Okay? Now, with that, what we will do is we use the we get the particular characteristics of each listing. So what are the characteristics? Well, size, price per square meters, number of rooms, points of interest. So for example, points of interest means may malapit ba ditong mall? May malapit ba ditong alcohol? May malapit bang airport? May malapit bang McDonald's? May malapit bang Starbucks? Parang ganun. So, binibilang natin yun. That's data. Right? That's data. And alam naman natin na pag mas maraming mall na makatabi ka, mas marami ka McDonald's, mas marami kang Starbucks, mas mahal dapat yung lugar kasi maglalakad ka lang. Right? Now, our algorithm will provide a series of clusters which are more likely similar. So, mag-correct si algorithm, magko-compute siya. Again, you don't need to be a math expert. May code yan. Okay. Ko-compute ni algorithm, okay, yung magkakakulay, parehas yan na cluster. Yan ang properties na parehas. And here, kung ito lang yung property na parehas mo, dito ka lang mag-compare ng price. Okay? Ito yung mga kaparehas mo. And therefore, mas maganda ang pricing mo. And I cannot tell you, sometimes, most of the time, people underprice their property. Sayang naman, di ba? So, you revolutionize both your real estate and finance kasi that's your finances, that's your money. Okay? Of course, you also have remote sensing for property inspection. Did you know that you can use satellite to check your kung gaano yung itsura ng, let's say, itsura ng inyong property? You can definitely use that. Okay, so and then of course, ayan, so satellite. Well, it's actually going past my designated time. But for satellite, the alternative use case here is that the satellite emits a light signal that gets reflected. I think this is your basic. We learned this in grade school, di ba? The light that touches us, iba yung parang isa lang naman yan. But then, kung ano yung nire-reflect natin, iba yun yung kulay na parang nakikita sa visible eye. But because may eye din si satellite, nako-capture niya yun. So, the way that light would hit the surface of, let's say, a plant or any material, there's no two materials na parehas. So, let's say, tinamaan niya aluminum or tinamaan niya yung road, tinamaan niya yung building or tao, iba yung light na nire-reflect niya. Nakukuha lahat yun ng satellite. And therefore, with that, for example, ang ini-emit niyang color, blue. Kaya malalaman mo kung baha. Malalaman mo rin dito kung maraming plants. You can use satellites to determine if yung lugar na yun is bahain before mo siya bilhin. Okay? Okay. Now, with that, you can also use analytics for planning your trips. So did you know that you can also use analytics to kind of the shortest path analysis. Again, the shortest path analysis is an optimization algorithm. Nasa prescriptive analytics yan. Now, with this one, you'll be able to identify, okay, nagpa-plan ka ng vacation, okay, ipa-plot mo lang siya dun sa map, and then makikita mo, okay, so this one, dapat ito yung mauna. Pag itong route ang kinuha natin, hindi natin ito madadaanan, etc., etc., may actual time din yan. So, makukuha niyo siya lahat. So, before, hula-hula lang, siguro dito muna. But now, if you use your actual data analytics, which also can be open source, then you will be able to really tell with data and simulation kung ano talaga yung best na makukuha. Okay, so I know masyado na marami use case, marami pa, sobrang dami pa, but I don't wanna overrun you. So what have we learned? Well, be curious, ask what's possible. So like for example, sa mga use cases natin, if you're unhappy with the way you're doing things, then maybe there are things that you can consider on an analytics side. Start with, ano kayang gagawin ng isang analytics person here? Diba? Ano kaya may technique kaya na pwedeng i-apply dito? That's one. That's the start. Number two, explore alternative data sources. So kanina sa atin, satellite, alternative data yan sa credit scoring. Phone, mobile app, diba? So, kapag wala kang data, maybe there are other data sources that would eventually give you, ano yung sinabi natin, patterns, connections, and story. Maybe try to get that, diba? So try to look at that and then explore. I mean, we are in a time where a lot of this use cases are really just alternative, diba? Or trial. So be the first, diba? And of course, upskill and continue learning. So just like me, 2 years ago, I have no programming skills, but I really wanted to learn and I can see the value. Hopefully, dito, sa pinakita ko sa inyo kanina, you've seen the value enough so that you want to upskill and continue learning. And in fact, kaya nga siguro kayo nandito sa webinar, di ba? Na, okay, I want that and I'm willing to invest my time to study, to connect, to ask, diba? To find mentors. Kasi at the end of the day, um, there's a continuous need for us. Our problems are becoming more complex in the world, and you want to be able to continue learning so that you can continue to battle them head on. Okay? And last but not the least, sabi nga ni Elon Musk, we're almost in the age where the questions that we have taught in the past are no, parang akala natin before, walang sagot yan. Like, ano ba yung optimal portfolio? Diba? Parang may makakapagsabi ba sa akin kung ilang percentage ang dapat kong invest dito? Now, meron na. Look around you. Diseases and other wicked problems are finally having to start a cure. Now, we are almost living in the age of miracles, but with that comes our responsibility of upskilling ourselves. Ayaw naman natin mahuli. Kaya sabi nga dito ni Elon Musk, you can literally learn any skill you want for free on YouTube. You can become a person of value in a matter of months. Well, tama siya. Kasi ako, I learned programming just 2 years. Actually, I learned programming in 3 months and then apply lang ako ng apply. Wala ako ng gawa ng use case and I volunteered myself with a lot of projects. And there, if you are lucky enough to be born in this era and you are, take full advantage of it. And with that, I'd like to invite you guys to connect with me and be someone that can learn from what I give, because I'd like to give a lot of codes, and thank you for that. So I open the floor for some questions.
Thank you so much for that very profound and insightful talk, Sir Francis. As a friend once said to me, it is really important to listen to people who adds value to your life, especially to us who are just starting our careers in this field. And I'm sure that your talk will be of great help to each and every one of us present here today. It is indeed true that data analytics is a big part of today's world in almost all of personal and business decisions, especially in finance.
Yeah.
It is also undeniable that data analytics is playing a big role in revolutionizing and improving both personal and business processes. And being knowledgeable in data analytics will actually give you a lot of opportunities wherein you can improve your decisions in life and in work.
Yeah, and finally, we have arrived to the Q&A portion of the program. We are now going to begin answering questions submitted during today's presentation. As a reminder, we will entertain questions and through the chat section, so please guys, don't be shy to drop your questions. We will also be answering questions from the registration form. For those who want to ask Mr. Viernes personally, please raise your hand and unmute and open your cameras once recognized. So while waiting for questions from our participants, let us first take questions from the registration form. Sir, for our first question, what areas of business do we need support with more data-driven insights?
That's actually very nice. Right now that I'm learning, so a few days ago, I actually held a training called People Analytics. Diba? So we believe that for HR, human resources, na parang hindi naman siguro need parang pangulian mas important sa finance, mas important sa operations, but that's actually not true. You can apply the areas of analytics through everything. Sinasabi ko yun sa inyo guys, everything, kaya nga may personal di ba? You can planning trips, selling your house. Those are analytics, or asking for salary raise, di ba? Those are personal use cases. So my answer, every business departments or every business units need analytics. Of course, it depends how complex. Like for example, hindi ko na sasabihin sa inyo to, isa sa gagawin ko sa Mega World. Francis, I want to know which stores ang dapat kong i-open, and I want to know sino yung dapat kong i-close, and or kung dapat ko pa siyang liitan or lakihan. Again, analytics question yan. So with that, of course, operations mas complex yan. They only differ in complexity, but whether or not they need it, if that's the question, the answer is yes, they need it. Okay.
Thank you so much for that very well explained answer, sir. For our next question, how can you ensure data quality?
Okay, very nice. Okay, in one case that we have, so ano yun, data quality is quite a wicked issue. So thank you for raising that. Halimbawa, kahit kayo sa Excel. Let's say for example, you get, okay, the name of a condo. Yun yung na-analyze ko ngayon. I currently live in the Florence condominium. Okay, the Florence condominium. Sometimes one analyst will put Florence condominium. One analyst will put Florence condo. And then one analyst will put Florence condominium na walang da. Diba? All of those are different in terms of analysis. Kasi si computer, guys, si computer, hindi naman niya alam na isa lang ibig sabihin nun. Mas matalino pa rin si tao, di ba? So with that, one way that you can ensure data quality is if you can, sa mga Excel nyo, drop down, choice lang, don't give them too much open-ended. Pag maraming open-ended, mas maraming leeway for errors. So for example, yung dates, sobrang dates. Kwento ko lang sa inyo guys kung gano'n kalapit dates. May iba, Jan, tapos may dot 31, 2020. May iba, Jan, hindi dot, comma. So ngayon ang program, paano ko naman ito linisin? So point being is, if you can give them in a manner na parang they have less choice, pipiliin lang nila, that will ensure data quality.
Okay, thank you so much for that very profound answer, sir. For our third question, sir, can you please enlighten us on the application of business finance in data analytics aside from the usual trend analysis and fraud detection?
Okay, well, for finance guys, alam nyo, let me give you a little bit of secret. I don't know if I should be telling you this, but I should. Your students, think of it this way. Kapag magaling ka sa finance, you're okay, may career ka. But sometimes yung magaling sa finance are not also good with computer science because they're two technical fields. Diba? Para kang nag-study ng law and doctorate, diba? Parang medicine doctor tsaka law. They're very technical. Finance and computer science very technical. But guys, listen to this advice. If you can combine both, konti lang nakakagawa ng finance and computer science. Kasi they're both technical. Now, sige, balik tayo. How can you, aside from that, what are the business need? If you can, for example, simulate cases of, di ba, parang trend analysis, you can also do forecasting. Right now, for example, nag-set ng targets. If you can set your targets, yes, the marriage of two specializations, if you can have that, you'll be powerful. And then don't stop there. Get 3 more, 4 more, 5 more. I mean, not because you're hungry for specialization. No. It just helps you perform better. Hindi naman ganun. Hindi na parang gusto lang niyong kumuha ng maraming title. No, hindi ganun yung gusto niyo. Gusto niyo lang, I want to understand everything so that if I marry them, tama yung yung pag-execute ko. So in business finance, you can do yung pinakita ko. Ano yun? Budgeting. Naku, ang laki niyan. Or ito sa HR analytics. How many do we need to redundate? Makita niyan, ang dami talagang case. Like, sabi ko sa inyo guys, being the only data scientist right now in Mega World, and in actually, marami kasi yung maraming company yan. Ang dami kong tanong, like, sige, share ko lang din. Ilan ang dapat nating i-hire? Gaano karami? Pera yun. Di ba? Pera yun, budget yun. Tapos parang, ano ba? Magkano yung raise? Prediction ng raise ng tao? Pera din yun. Prediction ng budget. Tapos, yun nga, yung budget ng kung saan yung cash flow, ano yung bonds na i-enter, portfolio optimization, nakita nyo na yun, di ba? If you have chief investment officer, dito kayo mag-invest, or crypto, di ba? Dito, ito lang yung ano mo sa crypto, parang ganyan. So all of those are applications. It's endless, hindi tayo matatapos, marami talaga siya. So kung marami talaga, I advise, learn, kahit isa lang muna for now, and then manganganak na yan in the future.
Okay, thank you so much for that answer, sir. For our next question, how to get the entire enterprise aligned on data management?
Guys, you're asking really good questions. Ganito. I report to the COO. So my boss is the chief operator. Siya yung decision maker, ultimate decision maker. What I do in my story so far is actually, if you can have, I don't know, if you're gonna have a new summit, I want to teach you my techniques. I usually use storytelling for them to understand this technique. A lot of people will find it difficult to change. Okay, sige, real talk tayo, real talk. When you enter a company and then may bago kang technique, it's not as easy as, hey, I came from university and all these techniques, gamitin natin. No, you will have to, may makakabangga ka mga old na tao na nagagawa naman nila before, even without data analytics. So number one, my advice is you don't have to be so forceful about it. You know, one of my big mistakes pala dito sa analytics, pagpasok ko, sinishare ko yan sa inyo talaga, matututunan nyo to was pagpasok ko sa company, I can create, I haven't shown you this pero I created a software that will automatically analyze ilan yung population in the area. And then sabi ko, this creation is the ultimate consultant, diba? It can analyze in a matter of seconds when we analyze it more than a month. Parang ganun. What happened? Ang mali ko was that natakot yung tao. Natakot yung mga tao na mawawalan ba kami ng job? Kasi parang you call that the ultimate consultants. So, ibig sabihin, yan na lang. Tapos tatanggalin na kami. Parang ganun. So, therefore, ang ginawa ng boss, hindi niya ginamit. Diba? Number one, that was the first mistake. When you threaten their job, actually, di ko sinasadya. Kasi like me, parang I like sharing. Pero yun pala yung dating. So number one, you have to be aligned with them and understand their needs. Sometimes, maybe their need is just a simple graph. Gawin mo lang. Win them over slowly. And number two, I sometimes argue in terms of storytelling na parang, okay, sige po, ganito sana hindi niyo sabihin sa boss ko kasi ganito ginagawa ko. So ma'am, sige, ganito. Okay lang po yan, ganyan gawin natin. Ito naman, option B, ito yung pwede natin gawin. We save this money. But either way, ma'am, okay lang naman sa akin kahit anong gusto niyo. Parang, di ba, you phrase it in a way na marami kang option and it's still your decision. I acknowledge you are long in this business. Baka may nakikita ka naman kasi hindi ko nakikita, di ba? So, gusto ko lang naman malaman. So, respectful, but here are the options and then let me know what you think. Diba? If you go this route, this is what I think. Parang ganun lang. So, it has to be founded with data visualization and storytelling. Like for example, ito. You know how I argued to have a lot of interns under my plate right now is parang ganito. If you don't do this, ma'am, then we're gonna have to, number one, do this. This is the cost. If we do this, this is the cost. But if we hire an intern or if we hire this data scientist, ito yung cost. Compare ko lang. So it was an easy decision. It was an easy decision. You just need to be good with storytelling, but you use data.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. And guys, reminder lang ulit na don't be shy to drop your questions in the chat section or you may unmute if you want to ask personally. Okay, sir, for our next question, when can you say that you have already reached your financial stability?
Okay. Financial stability is actually a very difficult answer. It's subjective. You know, when I was 25 years old and I was kind of earning parang 60,000, so I'm very happy na, stable na ako. And at that time, parang every Saturday, nanonood akong sine, parang I'm very happy where I am. But right now, that's not gonna fly. So, it has to be with, kailangan maganda yung sagot natin with financial stability. Well, sige, maybe you have number one, 3 months of your, or 6 months of your salary for emergency. Okay, so that's one. And then when your fixed payments, what are your fixed payments? So ginagamit ko talaga yung natutunan ko as financial consultant. When your fixed payments, yung loan, yung Netflix, yung mga monthly recurring, and Globe yan, fix yan. When that is no more than 20% of your income, gross income, hindi yung taxable, then you're already stable. This data-driven yung answer natin.
Okay, thank you so much for that very well explained answer, sir. For our next question, what are the innovative applications of data analytics tools in the field of financial management?
Oh, okay. Ganda rin yan. Well, right now with the field of financial, well, actually guys, nakita niyo yung mga codes natin, konti pa lang yun. Now, the reason for that is, katulad nga sinabi ko sa inyo, most of the computer scientists, kapag nag-aaral sila ng finance, they might not be really good with the way they understand fully yung finance. They might use mga parang modern machine learning methods, but it might not be the same. So, koonti pa lang yan. Like for example, yung mga common lang is, sige, baka masyadong lumalayo yung sagot eh. Enterprise reporting system. Yung parang ilalagay yung mga invoice, yan pa lang so far. For example, naghahanap kami ng software na makakagawa ng financial plan. Wala pa ganun. So medyo koonti pa lang. But may mga dumarating na bagong field ng mga data scientists and financial professionals. And again, I want you guys to not be left. Ang gusto ko sanang message sa inyo is parang hindi siya optional eh. Parang dapat meron na kayo nun. Kasi ngayon sa CFA, for example, ang ginagawa nila was meron ng robo-advisors. Yung parang nagsasabi sa'yo na, okay, ito yung situation mo, ito dapat yung investan mo. Before, di ba, sa ating finance, matawag kang portfolio manager. Wow, ganda naman ng work mo. Kung na-automate mo pala yung portfolio management, wala na, one-time work. Diba? So with that, nagkakaroon na yun. That's a new trend, robo-advisor. Then marami ding mga fintech firms, So, but not in terms of you using it personally. So yes, there are developments in the financial front, but it's mostly for businesses, for loans, for payments, diba? Mga ganyan, but not for you. Yun nga, parang wala tayong mga software to do financial plans, etc. Kaya it's left to us to really learn the coding and apply it to our use case.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Very well explained again. Okay, sir. For our next question, sir,
Sorry? Wala.
what have you realized about your work during this time of the pandemic?
Okay. There's a lot, actually. Number one, work from home is beneficial for me na maraming ginagawa, but maybe in terms of the work, okay. I'm thinking of an advice that would really help you then. Actually, there's a lot, but sige, let me just choose this. The need to upskill is actually really, really relevant. And okay, this is actually a funny story. Pandemic happened 2020. Doon pala ako natapos matutong mag-learn, mag-coding. So, from the first 2 years, di ba sabi ko sa inyo, 2 years pala ako nagko-code. All I did was to code. And one reason why I created the software that I was telling you about, so I created a software, is that natakot ako na dahil sa pandemic, mawalan ako ng work. Diba? And because of that, napilitan ako mag-study. I guess, this kind of pressure, okay, balik natin sa inyo. How pressured are you to perform? In one way or another, there are multiple people who responded to pandemic differently. In my case, natakot ako. And because of that, na-force ako matuto na parang, Francis, kailangan mo matuto or baka mawala yung department mo. I was head of data analytics at Leachu Property Consultants at that time. And takot na takot ako. So, at least pag sinabi nila, Francis, it's pandemic, we're not earning, we're letting go of your department. So, wag muna, I created this software, tingnan nyo. Parang ganun. So, parang, di ba, parang, ganyan yung sabi ko, yun yung bala ko. So, because of that, talagang pandemic, bawal lumabas. Di ba? Walang lumabas. So, gabi hanggang tatandaan ko pa to Holy Week pa to So, talagang sabi ko, tama, walang work. Code lang, code. Huwag ka matulog. Code. Tapos, nanonood pa nga ako ng Money Heist in the background. Tatandaan ko talaga siya kasi doon fired up yung So, in that case, how do you respond to pressure? For example, pandemic, ganyan. How are they making you better? So, number one, I use it as an opportunity to upskill. Now, balik natin sa inyo students. If you're not challenged with your current studies or work, maybe it's time to consider yourself adding more challenge na mapupush ka. Kasi when the stakes are high, like yung sa akin, natatakot ako muna ng work, and it's pandemic, wala akong kikitain, parang pagka-COVID ako, that is where all the learnings begin. Doon ka talaga magmamature, doon ka talaga mag-grow. So if you find that ang dali-dali ng finance sa akin and you have no growth, consider taking on a new challenge. Okay?
Thank you so much, sir. For our next question, as a student, how can we involve ourselves in businesses prior to learning financial data analysis?
Okay. Well, you can find internship. You know, there's a lot of companies right now that are looking for interns and voluntary interns. And they will, hindi na siya katulad nung before na tagakuha ka ng kape. No, they will really involve you with decisions. You know, guys, any type of work na i-assign na sa inyo, don't think na, gusto kong gumawa ng code. For example, ako, papagawa ko sa ibang interns ko to transcribe this meeting. Yun pa lang sa meeting na yun, marami ng learning yun eh. Di ba? So, yung mga ganong opportunity, of course, hindi yun pabili ng kape, hindi naman natin ginagawa yan, di ba? Pero yung mga ganong task, or for example, make this presentation. Pag ginawa niyo presentation yan, you're already learning kung ano yung points na nilalagay doon. So, take voluntary, or di ba gusto niyo yung business, take voluntary jobs like that, internship, or maybe, hanap lang kayo ng mga open data science projects and then, I want to be part of that. Can I be part of that? You can do that.
All right, for our next question, how can you encourage someone to learn and appreciate data analytics, especially those whose course is not inclined to computers and computer science literacy?
Okay, nice. Okay, ganito There are a lot of fields for data science. Well, it may not be for computers, but you know, you can also do data analytics when it comes to Excel. Pwede rin yun. Even the manner of telling the story, kaya din yun. I think you should request another webinar which is called data storytelling. So even with that simple skill, you cannot say na you cannot do that. You know why? Because all humans are natural storytellers. Diba? So for example, ako lang, kaya ganito, kasi I'm also a professor, so dami kong stories na kinikwento, parang dal ko. But all people are natural storyteller. So therefore, when you see a data or a data set, you will be able to understand there's something that I want to show here. So maybe in the future, you'll become a boss and then meron kayong tao na gagawa nun. Even at that point, you're already in the data analytics field. But you don't need to do it yourself. But just the perception, then that's still data analytics. Hindi naman siya limited dun sa gumagawa lang, but also those who can understand and have vision for it.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Sent in the chat section by Miss Micaela Borsena. Data science and statistics are both interrelated. Do I need a certain degree to get a master's in data science? I'm an undergraduate of BSBA Financial Management po.
Okay, well, I'm gonna answer that quickly. No, you don't need a certain degree. I'm an economics graduate and there are others na social science graduate. So as you can see, it really depends on how much you want it. Diba nga, sabi nga ni Elon Musk, kaya nga pinakita ko yan as long as you want it, you can just open YouTube and you can learn. It's just it's gonna be tough at the first part, but if you really want it, like sa akin, then that's going to be something that you'll thank yourself later on. You know, one mistake that I've had in my career is thinking I'm already good enough. Diba? I got my master's in finance in 2018. At the same time, I got CFA. At the time, parang yun yung pinaka golden rule sa ano. But guess what? Nobody is hiring me kasi masyado na daw mataas sa FactSet. So we can't hire someone na ito na yung asking salary. My only way out was really to learn another skill. So if I really want to transfer and be more applied, I had to transfer skill. And there, I had to throw away the conception na okay na ako with the skill sets that I have. So again, depende sa'yo yun. How fine are you with the skill sets that you have? If okay ka naman na talaga, well, hindi naman, okay din naman talaga. Baka pwede na, di ba? Like for example, you have skills already as a, let's say, as an accountant. We have job naman na talaga. Ako lang kasi nung time na yun, I was unhappy with my current skill set. So, and no undergrad degree will ever stop me from getting that. Diba? I don't want to be defined by my past choices. Diba? But seeing your answer, you're a financial management graduate, you're more compatible pa nga with the data science kasi you're used to a lot of data. So you will start in a better position.
Okay, thank you, sir. We have another question from Vincent. Do you have some things or opportunities in mind that you are looking forward in your career?
Okay. Well, being part of a big conglomerate right now, I'm much excited to apply it in all facets of the organization. Naghahalo nga guys yung gusto ko na ako yung gagawa ng lahat only because I want to learn. I'm a natural learner, but as a leader naman kasi, you don't have to do it by yourself, diba? You have to hire people. So medyo yun, parang naglalaban yan. But I'm excited to apply it, and hopefully in the future, so let's mark this date, March 5, hopefully in the future when you get to learn that Mega World is already applying analytics in the way it's analyzing its property, its safety, diba? You'll think of me na, project yan, sir. Kasi I'm the only one naman ngayon. Ako lang yung unang data scientist nila. So that is where I'm excited for. The application of using it to revolutionize the entire Philippines, di ba? Create smart city. Yung pag mo pa lang, mahuhulaan mo na kung saan magkakaroon ng banggaan. Mahuhulaan mo na kung saan magkakaroon ng theft, mga ganun, di ba? Wouldn't that be nice? So, yeah.
Thank you so much for that answer, sir. We have another question coming from Miss Aina Pineda. What particular programming languages are needed to acquire po to be a great data analytics practitioner?
Well, R is very easy and marami pa rin gumagamit noon. But right now, mas marami kasi nagsusupport sa Python. So maybe if you want na parang pag nag-search ka sa internet kung ano yung mas maraming sagot, baka Python. Kasi magsisimula pa lang. So, ayun. I would therefore say Python. But if R is easier for you to read, then okay lang din ang R.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. We have another question. Do you think that data analytics is applicable in government institutions?
Yes, of course. Well, number 1, budget allocation. Number 2, yung mga tracking ng COVID, di ba? Para makikita mo nasan sila. So that, okay na yun. Kung ginawa lang to ni di ba, kanina meron din yung parang ways, yung mga question. Kung na-track mo lang kung nasan si COVID. Di, sana yung lockdown, hindi buong Pilipinas. It can be lockdown lang sa barangay. It can be lockdown. Di ba, ang ganda ng use case na gano'n, na parang dahil sila lang yung merong case, sila lang yung naka-lockdown. Well, the rest, okay pa. So, in that case, there's a lot. Even with analytics, automation, pag sasabit ka ng driver's license, magkaunta ka lang online, tapos ma-analyze na gaano katagal, gaano ka, or rather, saan dapat ipadala, etc. All of that. So, government actually has a very nice use case for data analytics then. So.
Okay, sir. Thank you again. So, sent in the chat section by Daniel Sancon. Hi, Sir Francis. Do you have any suggestions for the best platforms to build our portfolio?
Okay. Well, yeah, you can just try to do Python. The reason for that is wala pa kasing for now na parang portfolio na I mean, di ba, Instagram meron. Pero yung analytics portion kasi wala pa doon. Or kung meron man, parang hindi siya yung katulad ng optimization. So it really depends. But if okay sa inyo Instagram for a dummy account, pwede rin naman yan.
All right. Thank you so much, Sir Francis. I think this is our last question. Does business analytics have its own disadvantages?
Okay. Well, there are. I should be saying no pero maybe when misinterpreted, like for example, sometimes kasi you have to know na sa data analytics, garbage in, garbage out. So, kapag mali yung data na nakuha nyo, mali din yung recommendation. And there are some companies na parang who will take that blindly. Ki-question nyo muna. So parang, tama ba to? Baka kasi mali naman yung inputs. Yan. So, that is a potential, this parang kind of potential downside to it, 'di ba? Lalo na if someone who interprets the data will act on it without further validation. But other than that, there's a lot of use cases na rin sa data analytics. So for now, let's leave with that para at least meron din kayo fiduciary duty to also analyze and take care of your model and be very careful with what you share with other people who might misinterpret it.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Bernes, for your very thorough answers. And thank you so much to everyone and those participants who submitted their question during this day's plenary.
Thank you, everyone. I hope you learned a lot. And please connect with me. I'll be very happy to mentor you guys and provide guidance with all the other questions. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
And now to give recognition and acknowledgement to our speaker, may I call on Michelle Longanilla, Junior Phoenix Vice President for Operations and Treasury, for the awarding of the Plaque of Appreciation.
Thank you so much, Sir Francis, for generously sharing with us your expertise in analytics, real estate, and finance. It is my honor to present the Plaque of Appreciation awarded by the St. Louis University and the Junior Financial Executives of the Philippines presents this Plaque of Appreciation to Mr. Francis Adrian Vernes, CFA, MCF, CCREP, for actively imparting his expertise and skills during this virtual conference entitled Data Analytics Summit 2022, The Rise of Digital Transformation and Financial Technology, held on February 12, March 5 and 12, 2022 via Zoom conference, given this 5th day of March 2022. Signed by Mr. Xavier Caboncal, President and Head of Execution of Data Analytics Summit, Ms. Carla Claveria, Program Director of the Data Analytics Summit, Ms. Angelica Shanda, Head of Partnership of Data Analytics Summit, Dr. Zenedith Monang, Junior Financial Executive of the Philippines Advisor, and Mrs. Carazelli Furigay, Business Economics and Financial Management Department Head.
Thank you so much. My honor as well to serve you.
May I call upon the plaque signatories to please open their cameras for the photo opportunities with Mr. Viernes. May I also call upon Ms. Isabel Garcia to please take the photos.
So, ready po? In 1, 2, 3, smile. Again. Smile po. 1, 2, 3. Okay na po. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sir Francis. We will send the plaque within the week.
Happy
We are
weekend.
greatly honored to have you, sir, as our guest speaker for today. And thank you so much for imparting such valuable lessons to us. We hope that everyone was enlightened and was able to grasp something out of your discussion that we will be able to utilize today and in the future, both for our personal and professional growth.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Before we formally say goodbye to Sir Viernes, let us first take a groupie. So we encourage everyone to please open their cameras. We will give you 10 seconds to do so. May I call again Miss Isabel to please take the photo.
Ready po? Wait. Smile in 1, 2, 3. Smile. Next page po. 1, 1, 2, 3. Smile. Next page po ulit. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay po. Next page po. In 1, 2, 3. Smile. Next page po ulit. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay po. Smile po. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Smile po ulit. Next page po. 1, 2, 3, smile. Isa pa po. 1, 2, 3, smile. Last two po. 1, 2, 3, smile. Last po, last. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay na po. Thank you.
Thank you.
Once again, thank you so much, Mr. Viernes, and we hope to see you again po next time.
See you. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good afternoon again, ladies and gentlemen. We will be having a 10-minute break. So sa ating participants for today, kumain muna tayo, mag-stretch, magtimpla ng kape, wag lang matutulog, okay? And we'll see you after 10 minutes. Thank you so much.
Recording stopped.
again, good afternoon, everyone.
Recording in progress.
The link for today's attendance will be given at the end of this day's conference. And we would also like to remind you guys that attending our 3-day event is mandatory to receive a certificate of participation. Attendance of a minimum of 3 plenaries is required. Thank you!
Alright, unang speaker pa lang yun, pero grabe, napakarami ko nang natutunan. How about you guys? Okay pa ba tayo dyan? Nakakain na ba kayo? Nakapagtimpla na ba kayo ng kape? Nakapag-stretch na ba kayo? Ikaw, partner, ano naman ang pinaka natutunan mo sa discussion ni Sir Viernes kanina?
Partner, ang pinaka natutunan ko at pinaka tumatak sa akin sa discussion ni Sir is that we can revolutionize our life using data analytics. Like, we don't have to rely on our intuition when making decisions kasi we can make better decisions using data. Ayan. So,
Alright.
Diba? So,
Alright,
diba?
bago tayo magpatuloy sa ating second speaker, bago tayo magpatuloy sa ating icebreaker, tatawag muna tayo ng 3 participants today to answer our question, no? So, okay, congratulations sa mga nakapagtimpla ng kape, especially kay Miss Jubel na nakapagtimpla ng kape. Okay, sana all. Okay, tatawag tayo ng 3 participants para tanungin kung ano naman yung pinaka natutunan nila from Sir Viernes' discussion. Okay, let's start. It's your time to shine, Miss Jasmine Bangwa. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello po, good afternoon po.
Hello, Miss Bangwa. Taga saan naman si Miss Bangwa?
Yung school po ba?
Hindi, yung
St.
bahay
Louis
mo.
University. Taga La Trinidad po.
Alright, hello sa mga taga La Trinidad dyan. So, ang tanong, ano naman ang pinaka natutunan mo sa discussion ni Sir Viernes kanina?
Yung natutunan ko pa sa speech ni Sir Francis kanina ay applicable po ang business analytics sa lahat ng sectors, personal and business, even po sa government. Yun lang po.
Alright, thank you so much, Miss Jasmine.
Ayan, magtatawag ulit tayo. Andyan po ba si Miss Samantha Faye? Miss Samantha Faye Canoy? Hello, Miss Samantha. Can you please unmute yourself? Okay, parang wala si... Ay, ayan.
Anything po.
Oh, thank you so much, Miss Samantha.
Okay, last participant na ating tatanungin for today tungkol sa natutunan niya kay Sir Francis. May I call on Miss Krista Pimentel. Hello, Miss Krista. Can you please unmute your mic? Nako, mukhang wala ata mukhang nagtitimpla pa ng coffee si Miss Pimentel, no? So, tatawag ulit tayo ng isa. May I call on Miss Hazeline Armas? Hello, Miss Armas, are you there? Nako, mukhang natagalan ata sa break si Miss Armas. Okay, let me try one more time. May I call on Miss Micaela Borsena?
Hello po. So,
Hello, Miss Mika.
So, yung natutunan ko po dun sa kanina sa yung data analytics po is parang mas na-expand ko na kailangan pa rin pala natin ng technology, data science, computer science para mas ma-elevate pa natin yung yung edge natin kumpara sa iba.
Alright. Thank you so much, Miss Mika.
Ayan. So, bago tayo mag-move on sa ating second speaker, syempre, icebreaker muna tayo, guys. Okay pa ba kayo? Pa-heart reacts naman. Patingin naman ng mga heart reacts nyo kung marami rin kayong natutunan from our first speaker at kung excited kayo para sa icebreaker at sa second speaker din natin for today. Ayan, ang dami naglilitawan ng mga heart. So, very active at buhay na buhay pa rin. Guys, okay. Our game for today is talaga namang bagong-bago. Tingin ko mga first time nyo pa lang ito maririnig. Sa larong to, kailangan may stretching, may warm-up, charot. Alright, so this game is called Bring Me, diba? Sobrang kakaiba.
Okay, so based on the name of the game itself, we will be asking you to show us specific items na makikita sa loob ng inyong mga bahay, no? Pero pwede ring nasa labas, baka naman naiwan ninyo. Or pwede ring nasa kapitbahay, baka hiniram, tas di pa binalik. Okay?
Okay, para manalo, kindly raise your hand and open your cameras while showing us yung hinahanap naming item.
Alright, so the first person to bring the item ay mananalo ng tumataginting na cash prize, pero confidential kung magkano, no? Which will be sent to your GCash account.
Okay, our junior Phoenix officers will monitor, ha, guys. Ready na ba? Mag-stretch na kayo dyan. Ready na ba? Okay, for our first item. Saan kaya ito matatagpuan, partner?
Nako, kalat-kalat yan. Depende kung saan sila pumupwesto dyan.
Guys, for our first item, bring me tabo. Go, guys, tabo. Uy! Please open your cameras po.
Okay, Miss Sheila Sigwa. Okay. Paki-unmute naman yung name, please. Paki-unmute naman yung mic.
Hello po.
Okay, we have a winner, Miss Sheila Sigwa.
Yan. Congratulations, Miss Sheila.
Okay, for our next item, ito very specific to ha, dapat masunod. No, lahat tayo meron nito, no, mayaman ka man or sakto lang. Meron tayong lahat nito. So, are you ready? For our next item, very specific, bring me rice cooker na may kanin. May kanin, guys, ha?
May kanin, guys. Oops. See? Sino na una?
Nakikita ko si Mr. Daniel Dumalaos.
Okay, Mr. Daniel.
Please open your camera.
Hello.
Okay, pakita naman ng item, Mr. Daniel.
This one po.
Alright.
At may kanin reveal.
Medyo kunti na lang po.
Okay lang. Sige, kumain na ako. Chariz.
Ayan.
Alright, congratulations to Mr. Daniel.
Congratulations. Okay, for our next. Okay. Kumain ka na ba pala? Kumain na ba si Mr. Daniel?
Yes po, before webinar po.
Okay. So, busog kang Guys, please lower your hands na po. And for our next item, guys, nauuhaw na ba kayo? Like, inom-inom din, ganyan.
Stay hydrated. Sorry,
tama. Stay hydrated. So, for our third item, bring me galon ng tubig. Galon, guys, ha? Hindi tumbler.
Galon, guys, ha? Yung marami. Alright, Terence Monang is raising his hand. Alright, Mr. Monang, pa-open naman ng camera.
Galon ba, pre?
Makikita ba si Mr. Monang?
Ayun. Wow, may laman pang tubig. Talaga naman.
Congratulations, Mr. Monang. Kinukman, Garod.
Talaga namang binuhat to ni Mr.
Surely.
Monang.
Congratulations, Mr. Monang. Okay, for our next item, specific din siya, pero medyo mahirapan kayo. So, it's either bring me or show me this item. Okay? Ready na ba? For our next item, bring me or show me your kalan. Kalan,
guys. Stove.
Okay. Jose Britney Joy, nagre-raise ng hand. Please, paki-open naman ang camera. Okay.
Kalan reveal
naman,
po.
please. Oh.
Ano nasa taas yan?
Kalan po.
Ayan.
Sorry. Okay, sinama yung gasol.
Oh, diba? Ready na magluto si
Congratulations,
Jose.
Miss Britney Joy. Okay. Sana kumain ka na din.
Congratulations, Miss Britney Joy. Okay, guys. Follower na po ng hands. para sa ating last item. Guys, for our last na hinahanap ay bring me your jowa. Yes, guys. Jowa po.
Oh! Ang
Oy!
bilis
Ang
naman ni
bilis ni Miss Eating.
Eating. Kelly Ann. Okay, pa-open naman ng camera. Oh, wala daw jowa yung mga nasa comment section.
Wow.
Alright, pa-open naman ng camera, Miss Kelly. Kailangan makita natin siya. Ay!
Ay, wow.
Small ba yan? Jowa ba talaga? Paki-unmute naman, Miss
Pa-unmute
Eating.
po.
Kailangan ma-validate tong claim na may jowa. Hello.
Bejawad ba kita?
O, jowa ba yan?
Naglalag siya.
Ay, nako, naglalag. Ilan taon na ba kayo?
17, 18 po.
18
Gano'n na
years
kayo
na
katagal?
Oh, matagal-tagal na rin.
Diba? Sana all daw.
Sana all may jowa. Alright. Nasaan daw ang
Meron daw
hostisya,
naka-shirt.
sabi nila. Ano ba yan? Baka dito sa sa DAS Summit 2022, baka nandito yung jowa niyo. Makita niyo yung future jowa niyo dito.
True. Congrats daw pero galit.
Grabe naman yan, Mr. Dominic. Galit na galit.
Ilan daw, sabi ni Miss Sizel. Pili ka na lang kung sino yung papakita mo, Char. Anyway, that's all. Thank you so much, guys. At sana nag-enjoy tayong lahat. For our winners today, congratulations. And please fill out the winner's form that will be sent in the chat section to get your prizes.
Alright, for those who did not win today, there are still chances to win sa ating last day of our Data Analytics Summit 2022. Bumawi tayo, guys, since we've got a bunch of fun games and prizes for you. Mag-prepare na din, itabi nyo na lahat ng items para more chances of winning.
Tama. Ayan. Okay, now for our second speaker. With over 126,000 followers and 1 million likes on TikTok, thousands of followers, subscribers, and engagement on Facebook and YouTube. He is a graduate of Information and Computer Technology on CASAP Rodriguez. He was also a Filipino-based Facebook page and community admin from March 2018 to December 2020. He is also a licensed financial advisor at PruLife UK Spark Amber branch, wherein he provides financial management services for clients. He also manages multiple online communities and social media accounts for company exposures as a community manager at Hubi Global from August 2021 to December 2021. Currently, he is a crypto and finance content creator who educates other people regarding investment and finance through various social media platforms. He is also the head of promotion at the Coin Bubble and managed the ambassador program and sold 7,640 NFTs. An associate financial planner, a public speaker, and an investment and finance content creator. Let us all welcome Mr. John Mark. Warm round of virtual applause.
Hello guys, hello, good afternoon. Rinig ba ako guys? Rinig
Yes,
po ba?
sir. Yes,
Loud
sir.
and clear, sir.
Ayan, hello. Good afternoon sa inyo guys, good afternoon. Grabe, so sobrang excited na rin ako to attend to here. Kaso medyo nawala onti excitement ko kasi may naglagay ng jowa reveal daw. So pakik na lang po yung mga nag-reveal po ng jowa. Joke lang. So for this day, ayan, good. Okay, rinig na daw, rinig. And so for this day, welcome ulit guys. Thank you for inviting me, by the way. And before we start, gusto ko lang makita yung mga kasama natin dito sa chat kung buhay pa ba. So type na lang kayo ng guys, type na lang kayo ng good afternoon na lang. Type yung good afternoon kung nandito pa kayo sa chat. Tingnan nga natin kung buhay pa yung mga tao. Ayan. So mukhang madami tayo ngayon, mukhang madami. Ayan, buhay pa naman daw. Ayan, okay. So in this case, ayun nga, in-invite nga ako in this speakership event to talk about cryptocurrencies. So, meron na ba sa inyo dito mga nakarinig na sa crypto or meron na exposure sa crypto? Tama yan. Tama yan, Xavier. Good afternoon maliban dun sa mga nag-jowa reveal. Sa mga nag-jowa reveal, not so good afternoon para sa inyo. So, pero yun, so, okay, tama na yung mga jowa discussion. So, in this case, tanong ko lang sino sa inyo dito ang mga mga meron ng idea about cryptocurrency. Kahit ano actually, NFT, Axie, sino na sa inyo dito may exposure sa crypto? Pa-type na lang ako kung saan kayo may exposure right now. So, wait lang pala guys, yung ano ko is hindi ko pala nasaksak yung charger. Pero yeah, pa-type ako guys ng saan kayo currently may exposure sa cryptocurrency. Bitcoin. Okay, that's nice. Ayan. Sorry. So, sinurge ko na yung laptop ko, hindi ko pala siya nasaksak kanina. So, mutik na ako mag-lowbat. So, ayan, good. So, may nasa Binance, Axie, NFT. Okay, so may mga naglalagay pa specific coin, ADA, HBAR. Okay, that's good. So, I guess, marami na sa atin dito ang meron ng prior idea about cryptocurrency. So, that's actually great. So, in this case, hindi ko naman sobrang lalaliman yung mga magiging topic natin about cryptocurrency. Kasi ang pinaka-topic ko dito is the basics of cryptocurrency. So in this case, punta tayo dun sa kumbaga pinaka-foundation ng crypto. Ano nga ba ang crypto and everything you should know about crypto basically. So yan, so if you guys are ready, type na ng ready sa chat and I'll share my screen na for the presentation. Ready. Ayan, so ready na to si Archie, Angelica, Ivan, Jamaica. Okay, that's good. So I'll share my screen na din. Okay, wait lang. Ayan. So kita ba guys? Kita ba yung screen ko?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. So yan, so for our topic this day, pag-usapan nga natin is cryptocurrency. So hopefully, if this is something din na excited kayo matutunan kasi this is something talaga na I've been passionately learning talaga for quite a while na din, I guess, for more than a year na din. So pag-usapan natin, ano nga pa talaga tong crypto? And don't worry, hindi ko naman siya gagawing sobrang technical para mas maintindihan siya ng karamihan sa atin. I'll keep it simple as much as possible. Pero yun, from up times, may mga babanggitin tayong mga technical terms, pero I'll explain it as much as possible para mas maintindihan nyo. So first of all, bago tayo mag-start with cryptocurrency, tanongin muna natin, is cryptocurrency nga ba really the future of our society? Because in my case, for me, naniniwala ako na cryptocurrency is definitely part of our future talaga. Kasi kung mapapasok talaga sa crypto, kapag nag-start ka with simple cryptocurrencies, let's say Bitcoin muna or even other crypto, maano ka talaga kumbaga ma-excite ka on what's happening in the space until mag-dive deep ka palalo, makikita mo talaga it's really the future. So in my case, for the question na kung part ba siya ng future ng society, I do believe it's part of our future. And pag-usapan nga natin kung bakit in the next few slides. Pero before we proceed to cryptocurrency, since ang concept kasi ng cryptocurrency is, kumbaga, related din sa currency na meron tayo ngayon, kailangan muna natin pag-usapan kung anong fiat. Because fiat is one of the, kumbaga, pinaka-concept na, foundation na concept na dapat mo matutunan before you understand cryptocurrency much, much better. So, pag-usapan natin, ano nga bang fiat? So basically, fiat is the money that we're using right now. Yung currency na ginamit natin right now na often is established by governments. Like for example, sa Philippines, itong Philippine peso, these are called fiats talaga. Pero besides that, sa current system natin, meron pang way back na system ang nag-exist before fiat. Kumbaga ito yung pinaka-history niya. So magkakaroon tayo dito ng a little bit of history lessons. So first of all, meron tayong masasabi natin 3 major history ng fiat talaga. Yung barter-based, gold standard, and fiat currency. So first of all, barter-based, sino familiar dito sa concept ng barter? I think nung pandemic, sobrang naging type nga ng barter kung familiar kayo sa barter na concept. Yeah, nung pandemic, I think sobrang naging popular talaga tong concept na to. Like yung mga barter groups, palit sa bigas, palit sa ganto, or something like that. Kasi nga, di ba, sobrang kumbaga, gipit yung mga tao of that time. So, instead of spending money, ipagpalit sila, which is similar to this. Additionally, gold standard, and then additionally is fiat currency. So in that case, isa-isayin natin itong mga to para malaman natin kung ano nga ba yung ibig sabihin na itong mga mga important parts ng history ng fiat. Para sa pinakauna is yung barter base. So back then, before tayo magkaroon ng actual na pera, yung ginagamit natin right now, i-start muna tayo sa trading ng barter. Kung makikita nyo dito sa picture, it's similar to this. Like tinapay, papalit mo sa prutas or sa gulay, and a lot of other things. Pero besides dito sa pagpapalit ng gamit to another one, napunta din tayo sa iba't ibang kumbaga medium of payment. Kasi syempre back then, for example, kung meron kang, let's say, kabayo, tapos ipapalit mo siya, for example, sa sako ng bigas, possible siya mangyari, pero ang hirap niya tansyahin. Like, ilang bigas ba yung kailangan ko para mapalit sa sako mo? Sa kabayo mo pala, I mean. So, komplikado niya, di ba? So in that case, gumamit tayo ng mga medium of, kumbaga parang payment para ma-measure yung value ng isang bagay. Like for example, shells, rice, salt, copper, silver, and yung pinaka-popular nga doon is yung gold. I think yung gold ata yung, if I'm not wrong, or yung gold yung pinakamatagal din na ginamit ng mga tao dito in this case. Kumbaga gumamit tayo ng gold as medium of payment. And reasonable nga naman kasi kung gagamit ka naman ng medium of payment, gold yung pinaka-reasonable gamitin kasi siya yung mas valuable. Unlike seashells, for example, or rice, mas mahirap siya hanapin. So, kung gagamitin mo siya pambayad, mas efficient siya kumbaga. Pero in that case, medyo nagkaroon ng issue ang mga tao. Kasi isipin mo, for example, back then, let's say, bibili ka ng tinapay or bibili ka ng kape. Kung gagamitin mo pambayad doon is gold, sobrang hassle niya, di ba? Isipin mo, bibili ka ng tinapay, dala mo isang bloke ng ginto. So, ang hirap niya, di ba? Hatiin mo pa siya or something bago mo magamit yung ano na yon. So, in that case, doon na pumasok yung concept ng paper money. So, sa paper money, nag-print sila ng pera to represent yung magiging value ng isang, to represent yung medium of payment, for example. Which is doon na nga pumasok yung gold standard. So in this case, the gold standard, sabi ng government doon, since ang hirap nga ng concept ng ginto, gagamitin mo pambili or gagamitin mo pang bayad, for example. Like, isipin mo, for example, pupunta ka sa jeep, gagamitin mo babayad is ginto. Diba sobrang hassle, kumbaga, for example, kung nag-exist tayo sa ganung type ng system. That's why present ng government yung concept talaga ng paper money. So in this case, sinabi ng government, sige, ito, meron akong 1,000 paper money. Let's say 1,000 pesos. Yun na lang gamitin natin, for example. Meron ako 1,000 pesos. Sa 1,000 pesos ko, i-exchange ko to for your isang bloke ng ginto. And then, pwede mo gamitin itong pera na to pambili kasi it is represented by this block of gold. Kung gusto mo naman makuha yung block of gold mo, bibigyan mo ulit ako na ito ng 1,000 na paper money. So basically, mas madali na siya kasi pwede mo na magamit sa mga mas maliliit na purchases, like for example, kung mabiyahe ka or may bibilihin kang maliit lang na gamit, for example. Pero until then, napunta na tayo sa pinaka-current concept na natin, which is yung fiat currency. So sa fiat currency, ito yun yung time na inabandon na yung gold standard. So yung concept dati na ginagamit yung gold para suportahan yung value ng money natin is wala na. So in this case, tanongin ko kayo sa inyo dito, guys. Sino dito sa tingin nyo naniniwala na ang pera natin is suportado ng gold? If you agree with that statement, can you type yes? If you don't agree, please type no. Ang pera ba natin right now is supported ba ng gold? Or kumbaga, backed ba by gold ang value? Yes or no? Tingnan nga natin kung ano yung magiging yung answer nyo to this. So sabi ni, oy, may kapangalan ako, may John Mark din. John Mark, yes, yes, yes. Okay, so marami nagsabi ng yes. Sabi daw ni Marco, no. Well, unfortunately, mukhang si Marco lang ang tama in this case kasi ang pera natin is actually not backed by gold. So makita nyo dito sa may chart ko or sa may presentation ko right now, noong 1971, completely inabandon na natin ang gold standard. Ang money natin right now is actually not backed by anything. Literally, ang pinaka best description nga ng majority of the people for this is ang pera natin is backed by our trust with the government. Kaya lang natin nasasabi na piso ay yung piso natin kasi nagtitiwala tayo na piso nga yun based sa trust natin sa government. Literally, gano'n na lang siya. And kung matatanong nyo, ano naman yung mga ginagamit na golds or bakit yung may mga bangko may nakatabing gold and other resources? Anong purpose nun kung hindi naman yung supportado yung pera natin? In most cases, yung mga gold na tinatabi ng mga banks or ng government are actually ginagamit nila mismo to preserve their money. Medyo ironic nga siya kasi in this case, kumbaga parang sila yung nagpo-produce ng money, pero in this case, gumagamit sila ng other resources para i-hedge or protektahan yung value ng pera nila sa inflation. So in that case, para maprotektahan yung value ng wealth ng banks or ng government, ginagamit nila yung gold. Kasi nga yung gold is much limited yung resources, unlike sa pera natin na unlimited and patuloy ang pag-produce. So in that case, ito yung mga characteristic ng fiat system. Obviously, para sa pinakauna is yung more convenient. Siyempre, mas maliit na yung denomination, mas madali na siyang gamitin. Mas madali nang pambili sa a lot of, let's say, establishments, kumaga, and mas madali lang dalhin, siyempre. Sino bang gusto magdala ng bloke ng ginto sa bulsa nila, di ba? Siyempre, wala. Additionally is inflationary. So, sino-sino dito familiar sa concept ng supply and demand? Tingnan natin kung merong nakakaalala pa ng high school concept ng supply and demand. Type ng supply. Kung naalala niyo pa ang concept ng supply and demand, tingnan nga natin. Supply. Okay, that's good. So mukhang marami pa dito nakakaalala ng mga high school lessons, no? So basically, sa mga hindi gaano familiar with supply and demand, ang pinaka-concept lang naman supply and demand, basically is, kumbaga ano kasi siya, relation siya on how something is valued or yung price ng something, for example. Like for example, kung maalala niyo yung face mask back then, nung kasagsagan ng pandemic, naalala niyo sobrang mahal ng presyo niya, di ba? And the reason for that is basic supply and demand. Kasi in that case, yung supply ng face mask back then, since sobrang rush yung nangyaring pandemic back then, yung supply niya is hindi naman gaano dumami or nasa stable lang siya na angle like this, for example. Nasa stable lang siya na level. So tumaas man siya ng onte dahil sa production pero hindi ganun kadami. Pero yung demand from the people, from let's say here, umabot siya ng ganito kataas. So in that case, based on the basic supply and demand rule, kapag ang supply ng isang bagay is nag-stay the same or bumaba, then yung demand is tumaas. Basically, tataas yung presyo ng isang bagay. Which is clearly ganun nga yung nangyari with the face mask back then. And yung relation naman nito with inflationary is opposite. Kasi in our case, yung demand sa pera natin probably nag-grow din and sometimes siguro nag-stable lang or nag-stay the same. Pero yung supply niya is dumadami. Kasi patuloy na nag-a-add ng supply ng pera ang government and a lot of banks in the world to produce. Kaya kung mapapansin nyo in this case, yung mga gastusin natin dati ang mahal na. Like for example, sino dito sa inyo pinaka-nakaalala ng pinakamurang presyo ng bigas? Ano yung pinaka-naalala nyo? Yung kinamulatan yung pinakamurang presyo ng kilo ng bigas? Patype na dito sa comment kung magkano. O yan, so di ba 18, 28, 25, 25. Ngayon nasa, I don't know, umabot na siya 40, 50 right now, di ba? Sobrang laki na. And it's because of the supply and demand. O see, sabi ni Mary J, 50 daw. Grabe. Siguro, ano na to, mga bagong-bago na to, para ngayon na to mismo. Pero yun, kaya siya nangyaring ganung price is because of basic supply and demand. Kasi nga, since dumadami yung supply ng pera natin, ang nangyayari is, yung buying power niya is bumibili. So kung back then, kailangan mo lang ng 18 na pesos para makabili isang bagay. Since humina na yung buying power ng pera mo, kailangan mo na ng mas madami para makabili ng same amount ng bigas, for example. So, ganun yung concept ng inflation. Third one is centralized. So, basically, ang concept lang naman ng centralized is controlled siya by a specific entity or specific group of people. So, in that case, ang control niya is mas limited for a number of people or a group of people lang, kumbaga. And para sa pinakalas is government-backed. So, gaya nga ng sabi ko kanina, it's entirely backed by a government lang, not by any commodity like gold. So if mayroong magsabi sa inyo na ang pera natin is backed by gold, that's not true. Kahit sa ang research nyo patingnan, wala nang backing ang pera natin right now. Any type of commodity or those kinds of things, hindi na siya back nun. Ang pinaka-support na lang niya talaga is the actual government as of this moment. So meron pala ako dito hindi ko na next. And because of this, sino dito sa inyo familiar sa hyperinflation sa Zimbabwe? Pero ba sa inyo ditong familiar dito? Type na lang ng hyper. Kung familiar kayo dito sa hyperinflation ng Zimbabwe. Ayan, Izara, lovely. Okay, that's good. Yes, tama yung sinabi ni Mary Sweet. So in that case, kung makikita nyo dito sa picture, nakalagay, starving billionaire. Bakit? Kasi in their case, sa government ng Zimbabwe, kung naalala niyo yung topic natin kanina sa inflation, ang nangyari sa kanila is hyperinflation, which is mas malala na inflation na nangyari dito. Kasi in this case, yung government nila is to solve, kumbaga nag-produce, to keep it simple and short na lang, yung government nila is nag-produce ng sobrang dami supply ng pera nila. And gaya ng sabi ko, because of supply and demand, hindi maganda magiging result nun. Kaya mapapansin mo dito, 79.6 billion % yung inflation nila every month, starting nung February 2007 and April 2009. So let's say for example, let's say sabihin natin meron kang 20, for example, sabihin natin kunyari pesos. Kung meron kang 20 pesos noon, in this context, kinabukasan yung 20 pesos mo halos wala nang value talaga. Probably, kung magkakaroon ka ng 20 pesos, wala nang may pakinyan, kahit nasa lapag na yan, wala nang kuha niyan. Ganun na siya ka-negligible, kumbaga. Ganun na siya kawalang value. And this is month-to-month basis lang. Tandaan niyo, umabot na ng almost 2 years. And in that case, umabot siya ng 89.76 trillion. So, billion, trillion, quadrillion, tas yung pang-5 denomination until sa pang-6, ganun kalaki yung inflation na inabot nila, which is grabe, sobrang laki talaga. Kasi trillion pa nga lang kung tutuusin, sobrang laki na ng trillion. Like kung magkaroon ka ng 1 trillion na kahit anong bagay, that's a lot of thing na talaga. In this case, isipin nyo, umabot pa siya ng 6 trillion. So sobrang lala niya talaga. And additionally, this is a statistic actually last year pa nga eh. Alam nyo ba na noong 2020, lahat ng US dollar na na-produce ever since nag-start ang concept ng paggawa ng US dollar, 35% nun is nagawa ng 2020 alone. And and if I'm not wrong, sa naalala kong recent data, umabot na to ng almost 50%, 40 to 50% up until 2022 lang. So to give you more context, sa tagal-tagal na nag-exist ng US dollar, I think umabot na siya ng almost 100 years plus years na. Ever since nag-exist yun, lahat na na-produce na US dollar ever since its existence, na-produce in just around 2 to 3 years lang. So ganun kalala yung nangyaring inflation. And this is not actually kumbaga na totally out of totally out of ordinary kasi may nangyari pandemic nung back then. Pero kung titingnan mo talaga in this perspective, sobrang lala niya talaga kung tutuusin. Sobrang lala niya talaga. Ayan. And because of this, dito na nga pumasok yung Bitcoin. So, sino dito sa inyo familiar sa Bitcoin? Type nga ng BTC kung meron sa inyo dito familiar sa Bitcoin. Tingnan nga natin. Ayan. So, mukhang madami. That's good. Ayan, okay. So mukhang madami-dami dito. In this case, because of the concept ng nangyari sa inflation natin, lumabas na nga talaga ang Bitcoin. Alam nyo ba na ang Bitcoin actually happened or nagawa ang Bitcoin because of another crisis din kung tutuusin. Kung familiar kayo sa 2008 financial crisis, actually nalaman ko na lang din to nung pumasok na ako sa crypto and stuff. Doon na-produce ng Bitcoin. Kasi back then, sa sobrang centralized na mga bagay-bagay sa atin or sa sobrang laki ng control ng isang grupo on a lot of our financial industry, nagkaroon tayo ng crisis. Which in this case, halos bumagsak talaga lahat ng asset class kasi nga mali yung pagkakakontrol. And nag-collapse nga yung, kumbaga, masabi natin nag-collapse yung buong financial industry natin back then. So ganun siya kalala. Which is one of the main reasons kaya actually na-produce ang Bitcoin. Kasi kung mapapansin nyo, it is said here na it is a decentralized digital currency. So kung yung mga pera natin is controlled by a specific entity or a specific government, Bitcoin is different. It's the exact opposite. In this case, hindi siya controlled na isang single entity. It's controlled by probably a lot of people. So paano naman nangyari yun? So ang pinakamadalas kong ginagamit na example for this is yung mga cooperatives. 'Di ba yung mga normal na banks is controlled by their board members or yung mga owners ng company, sila yung nagko-control doon. While sa cooperatives, it's a bank controlled by the people. So kumbaga it's a bank made for the people. So kumbaga parang ganun yung concept din ng Bitcoin in this case. To make it simple, kumbaga. And before we proceed, may mga bibigay lang ako mga onting Bitcoin-related terms na I think mahalaga malaman nyo. First one is blockchain. So blockchain is isipin mo na lang to as kumbaga parang isang storage kung saan nilalagay yung mga transactions ng Bitcoin or yung mga nangyayari sa Bitcoin network, kumbaga. It's placed on a blockchain. Pangalawa is Bitcoin mining. So sino dito sa inyo familiar sa Bitcoin mining? Type nga kayo ng mine. Mine naman. Type kayo ng mine kung familiar kayo sa Bitcoin mining. Tingnan natin kung sino dito mga familiar with that concept. Ayan. Oh, okay. So in this case, it's okay naman kung hindi ka familiar, that's all right. So si John Mark familiar siya, si Sherabel, si Aina, Eugene. Okay, that's all right naman kung hindi familiar yung iba. So sa mga di nakakaalam, kung makikita nyo ditong picture na to sa gilid, this is one example of Bitcoin mining. Yung mga nakikita yung graphics card na nakahilera sa isang case or something, tas parang pinapa-under siya or something, it's actually for Bitcoin mining. And it's a way of securing the Bitcoin network, kumbaga, tsaka pagpaprocess ng transaction, to make it simple. And dito sa Bitcoin mining, hindi siya yung literal na mina, yung ng mga resources. That's not it. It's through this process, yung Bitcoin mining. So pag na-solve nila yung may solve silang kumbaga parang puzzle na related sa Bitcoin transaction. Kapag na-solve nila yon, mag-earn sila ng block, which is yung Bitcoin nga. Kikitain nila. Last one is cryptography. So cryptography is yung kumbaga the process of deciphering codes or yung mga makikita natin kumbaga parang hacker type of thing na makikita nyo sobrang random na mga words katulad nito sa gilid. So that is with cryptography. So kaya siya kasama dito kasi cryptocurrency is actually based on cryptography. Kaya nga siya tinawag na cryptocurrency kasi cryptography-based na currency. To make it simple. So ano ba yung mga characteristics ng Bitcoin? So isa-isay natin siya. Una, sabi ko nga is decentralized. So instead of controlled by a specific group of people, controlled siya ng large network of people, which is yung mga Bitcoin miners na binanggit ko kanina is actually part of the people na kasama sa network ng Bitcoin. Additionally is deflationary. So since ang Bitcoin has a limited supply na 21 million, that is considered deflationary. Kasi yung pera natin, kung maalala nyo, it's unlimited. Ang Bitcoin is limited. So in this case, masasabi mo it's actually the exact opposite of our money. Nakita mo dito, limited lang ang supply niya. So, in this case, in most cases, hindi siya nagsasuffer from inflation. Kasi, although nag-increase ng supply niya, continuously nag-increase ng supply niya, meron siyang limit at the end. So in that case, dadating ang point na magkakaroon ng mamamine na ang pinaka-last na Bitcoin, and in this case, ayun na nga yun. Additionally is high security. So maalala niyo yung blockchain na binanggit ko kanina. Yung concept nun is actually what secures the Bitcoin network. And yung mga mining activities na ginagawa dun is actually one way to secure the network, to make it simple. And para sa pinaka-last is volatile. So even all of these good things, syempre nothing is kumbaga completely perfect naman. And one of the flaws din ng Bitcoin is its volatility. Since bagong concept pa lang ang Bitcoin, halos almost a decade pa lang siya right now. Sobrang volatile niya pa and sobrang magalaw pa ang presyo. Kung ang pera natin, compared sa other currencies, nagbabago-bago ang presyo ng sobrang liit. Sa Bitcoin, mas grabe. For example, possible ka magkaroon ng point na ang pera mo is magbabago ang presyo ng 50% in just a few days. Like for example, nung back then, umabot sa point na bumagsak ang Bitcoin, ang presyo ng Bitcoin ng 50% or 60%. Ganun siya. So, since bago nga siya, it's one of its flaws pa right now. And in that case, alam niyo ba na nagkaroon na ng corporate adoption ng Bitcoin and cryptocurrency? So, sino dito sa inyo familiar sa Tesla? Or kahit kay Elon Musk? Type nga ng Elon na lang, Elon. Kung familiar kayo sa Tesla and Elon or kay Elon Musk. Okay, that's good. Akala ko ako lang nalala kay Elon. Pero I guess Elon is very popular naman, kumbaga. So, wait lang, sabi nito. Ayan daw, so si Sweet Cheryl daw, birthday niya po. Oy, grabe, happy birthday. So, daddy daw ni Ruby Jane. So Elon Musk is actually, I don't know if siya pa din yung richest man on the world right now, pero naging richest man on the world siya. Nalagpasan niya si Jeff Bezos and Meme King. Siya nga yung, kumaga, alam mo siya yung sobrang yaman na tao, pero parang typical na individual kung man-trip, kumaga, on the internet, especially sa Twitter. So yun nga, si Elon Musk nga yun. And alam nyo ba na last year, February 8, 2021, bumili yung Tesla ng 1.5 billion worth ng Bitcoin. This is 1.5 billion dollars. So i-convert mo to sa peso right now, nasa around, I think 75 billion pesos to. Ganun kalaki. Ganun siya kalaki yung binili niya for Bitcoin back then. Kasi sa nangyari nga mga events sa cryptocurrency back ay sa pera natin na sobrang dami na po-produce na supply, sobrang taas ng inflation. Naisipan niya maglagay ng pera ng Tesla sa Bitcoin para malabanan yung inflation, kumbaga. And besides sa Tesla, madami pang ibang pumasok doon. Like PayPal, MicroStrategy, sila din yung mga ilan na nag-adopt sa Bitcoin. And up until now, dumami yung mga tao na nagpa-participate doon. And in this chart, makikita nyo, ito yung mga top holders ng Bitcoin. Actually, this is June of 2021 pa. So probably right now, malaki na binago nito. Pero isa sa mga top investors nun is MicroStrategy. Si Michael Saylor, isa sa pinaka-solid na investor talaga ng Bitcoin right now. So, nakalimutan ko right now kung magkano yung holdings nila, pero sobrang laki na nito right now. So in that case, kung maraming mga corporations na pupasok sa Bitcoin, paano naman tayo, di ba? Paano naman tayo mga normal na individuals? Kung si Elon Musk andun na, si Michael Saylor nandun na, kung billion na yung pera na pumapasok sa Bitcoin, paano na tayo, di ba? Paano na yung laban natin doon? Meron pa bang space para sa atin? And my answer for that is actually yes. Meron pang space sa atin for crypto. Kasi in crypto, actually, alam nyo ba na crypto is still very, very new. Kung i-consider natin siya sa stage of development, nasa infancy stage pa lang siya. So for example, nasa kumbaga sa baby na stage, kumbaga makakonsider mo pa siya na baby right now. Ganun pa siya bago. Kasi yung other industries like stocks, for example, nag-exist na siya for around almost 100 years na din, from what I know. So Bitcoin, 10 years, so napakabago pa niya kung tutuusin. And alam nyo ba na oh, sorry. May question po ba? I think may ata. Ay, hindi, naka-ano lang. And so for lang guys, pa-unmute lang po ng para may Akala ko lang may magtatanong, pero okay lang naman. Pa-unmute lang po yung yung sounds lang para ano. Thank you, thank you. Ayan. So for Bitcoin, actually ano pa to, this is for 2021. Sobrang dami ng tao ang nag-adapt sa Bitcoin. Alam niyo ba na nung 2021, ito, basahin ko na dito. From 14.4% to 2019, umabot siya ng 23.16% no 2021. In this case, 61% ang tinaas niya. And most probably right now, mas madami pa siya na mas madami since nagkaroon tayo ng Axie and a lot of NFTs na din, for example. And in this case, bigyan tayo ng example. Meron tayo tinatawag dito na traditional and modern portfolio. So yung traditional portfolio, ito yung kumbaga pinaka-common na investment na ginagamit for investing, kumbaga. Traditional portfolio, it's composed of 40% bonds and 60% stocks. In this case, combination siya ng yung pera mo, 60% nilalagay mo sa stocks, 40% nilalagay mo sa bonds. And in that case, from 2014 to 2020, nagkaroon siya ng annual return na 18.4%, which is actually not bad. It's actually a good return. Pero alam niyo ba, with the modern portfolio, at the same date, ginamit naman dito is instead of bonds, ang gagamitin mo is gold and Bitcoin. So isipin mo dito 20% lang ng Bitcoin lalagay mo in this portfolio. And alam niyo ba na ang naging annual return niya from 2014 to 2020 is umabot ng 24.9%. Almost 25%. And kung titingnan niyo lang kung gaano kalaki ito, it's actually very, very big. Mukha man siyang maliit, like 24.5%, parang ang liit naman yun every year. It's actually not. Kasi kung i-consider mo pang compound interest, sino dito sa inyo pala familiar sa compound interest? Type nga ng CI kung familiar kayo sa compound interest. Check natin dito kung sinong ano. Type CI. Inom lang ako tubig. Yeah. Ayan, that's good. Since compound interest basically is yung concept ng pag-compound ng pera natin. Yung pera mo, kumikita ng pera, tapos yung kinita niyang pera, kikita pa ulit. Or to make it simple, meron kang isang manok. Yung isang manok mo, ng itlog, let's say, ng 3 sisiw. Yung 3 sisiw na yon lumaki at naging inahin na din. So, bali 4 na naging inahin mo. So, in that case, yung isa mo na nag-produce na 3, naging 4 na siya na nagpa-produce right now. So, in that case, kung mag-produce ulit sila ng 3, napaproduce na sila ng 12. So, in that case, isipin mo, nag-start lang siya as 1, pero because of compounding interest, umabot siya ng 12. So, parang ganun yung concept niya. And with 25%, sobrang laki na ito. Actually, sobrang laki. And additionally, ito yung isang mga concept na pinagusto ko. Meron tayong tinatawag na altcoins. So, sino dito sa inyo familiar sa altcoins? I-type nyo nga yung pinaka-favorite yung altcoin kung familiar kayo sa altcoins. Tingnan natin kung sino itong ano. Ayan, si Marcos, so dot daw siya, dot. Okay, that's good. Actually, ano rin ako sa dot. Dot XRP, okay, that's good. So, para sa mga di nakalam po anong altcoin are basically any cryptocurrency besides Bitcoin. Kumbaga, to make it simple, parang alternative coin, kumbaga. So, BNB bar, okay. So, nakikita ko na dito sino talaga yung mga nasa crypto din, Kasi, ayan, so FTM, okay, that's good. Cardano, okay, that's good. Nagugustuhan ko yung mga pick nyo right now, Parang included din to sa sa mga cryptos ko, So, yun nga, so basically, altcoins are any other cryptocurrencies beside Bitcoin, like Ethereum, Cardano, Litecoin, or yung mga binabanggit nila dito. Like sabi ni Ramil, Mana, that's also an altcoin. And before we start first, sino dito sa inyo nag-online shopping? Kung Lazada kayo, please type add to cart and then salamat Shopee kung Shopee kayo. Let's check kung saan kayo bibili dito.
Yung mga video.
Salamat Shopee, salamat. Okay. So mukhang maraming Shopee dito. Shopee. Ay, grabe. So sabi di Archie, both daw. Actually ako, in my case, both din ako, pero parang more on Lazada ako in most cases. Pero Shopee, gumagamit ako ng Shopee. May Shopee wallet din ako or or ano mo ito yung tawag, pero meron din ako noon. So naisip nyo, paano naman tayo napunta dito? Like, pinag-usapan natin kanina crypto. Ba't napunta tayo sa online shopping? Ano ba to? Ads ba to or something? No, it's not. It's actually connected sa topic natin. Mas user-friendly daw si Shopee. Well, I think pareho lang din naman sila. I mean, kung titingnan mo siguro sanayan lang talaga, sanayan. Pero, sabagay, Shopee kasi is most common here in PH talaga, especially. Laging nasa show ni Kuya Will eh. Pero anyway, kaya siya napag-usapan dito kung bakit ko nabanggit to out of nowhere. It's because of this cryptocurrency. And that is Ethereum. So, Ethereum kasi is another cryptocurrency which is an altcoin nga na second largest cryptocurrency siya in terms of market cap. So, lahat ng cryptocurrency right now, siya ang pangalawa sa pinakamalaki. And ang connection at ng Ethereum, sa binanggit ko kanina, Ethereum kasi is a cryptocurrency that is focused on smart contracts. So familiar kayo sa mga computer codes or mga programs, connected yan siya dito. And so in this case, for example, kung once na-popularize na ang concept ng Ethereum and nag-expand na talaga siya to a larger level, alam nyo ba na yung Shopee, Lazada na ginagamit natin, it's possible for us na magkaroon ng online shopping app na Lazada or Shopee na nakakonect sa cryptocurrency. So in that case, pwede na tayo magkaroon ng tinatawag na trustless na transaction. So isipin nyo ganito. Kung mag-order kayo dati sa Shopee or Lazada, di ba, pipili kayo ng mga items and those kinds of things, then ang nagiging middleman natin is Shopee. Once nag-popularize ang Ethereum and yung concept ng smart contracts, magkakaroon na tayo ng app na pwede na tayo directly makipag-contact sa mga suppliers mismo. Magkakaroon lang tayo ng app sa isang network, for example sa Ethereum, pero ang magiging middleman na natin is mga codes, which means hindi ka na kailangan magtiwala sa isang specific na tao kasi ang transaction mo dito is from a decentralized na smart contract. So kumbaga, kung bibili ako ng isang item, pwede na ako makipag-usap sa supplier na ito yung bibilin ko, and pwede na ako magtiwala na magpo-process yung transaction natin kasi nga naka-align na yung mga codes with this one. And this is not controlled by a single entity like a company. So in this case, hindi rin siya easily manipulatable. Kumbaga, hindi siya madaling baguhin ng other people on their will kasi nga it's decentralized. So hopefully na kasi sinasabi ko. And in this case, ano nga ba yung mga characteristics ng Ethereum? First one is yung smart contracts. Yung smart contracts, gaya nga na sinabi ko kanina, it's a self-executing contract na gumagamit ng computer codes. So basically, halos lahat ng ginagamit natin, like sa Zoom, itong mga apps na to, it actually uses codes din. So in that case, parang ganun din sa Ethereum. Gumagamit sila ng mga type of codes and mga commands. Pero in this case, connected siya sa cryptocurrency. So in this case, yung codes mo is not controlled by a single company, but the people or the part of the network ng Ethereum, kumbaga. Additionally, is decentralized apps. So itong decentralized apps, ito naman yung mga applications na gagawin sa Ethereum. So in that case, kagaya nga na sinabi ko, yung Shopee or online shopping app na decentralized, kasama yun dito sa mga dApps. So in that case, hindi lang siya actually for online shopping, for delivery, or even social media. Pwede na tayo magkaroon nun with dApps. Additionally, meron din tayo tinatawag na DAOs. So in this case, a DAOs, it's a decentralized organization. So kung yung typical na mga organization is controlled by a single group or entity, so dito sa DAO, it's controlled by the people that is part of the network. So in that case, kung nasa isang DAO, for example, meron kang say on what's happening sa organization nyo. So in that case, kunyari gusto mong magkaroon ng organization for, let's say, students. For example, kung magkakaroon kayo ng DAO or decentralized organization para sa mga students, masasabi mo na everyone has a voice on it. And hindi siya like by choice. It's actually kung paano ginawa yung system. So ganun siya ka-powerful kumbaga. Pero in that case, gaya ng sabi ko, nothing is perfect. Ethereum still has flaws and a few of them is kumbaga yung gas fees and scalability. So yung gas fee, isipin nyo na lang siya as transaction fee. So kumbaga, kung For example, kung mag-transfer ka sa banks, di ba may mga fees. So parang ganun lang din yun sa gas fee. And additionally, yung scalability, ito yung ability niya to expand. Right now, medyo meron pa siyang struggle sa pag-expand kasi yung kaya niyang i-process na mga transaction is hindi pa gaano kadami. So kung yung mga normal na apps, for example, like PayPal, nakapag-process sila ng around thousands of transaction per second, dito sa Ethereum, hindi pa siya ganun kalaki. Kaya yun yung isang struggle niya pa right now. And additionally, non-fungible tokens. So in this case, sino dito familiar sa Board of Society or BPOS? Meron ba dito sa inyo familiar sa BPOS? Type nga ng BPOS, BPOS. Meron ba sa inyo familiar dito? Ito sa profile picture na nilagay ko dito right now. Meron ba sa inyo familiar dito or ayan si Cheryl, mukhang familiar siya. Okay. Divine Gem, good. Uriel. Okay, that's good. Actually, itong BPOS, yung pinakita ko right now is actually an NFT community na I'm part in. So sa BPOS right now, I'm their Director of Education. So yung mga events talaga for BPOS is something na pinupuntahan ko. Pinupuntahan ko for events and even mamaya may podcast pa nga kami mamayang 7. So BPOS or yung Board of Society is one example of an NFT community. And yung Board Punks then is also one example of non-fungible tokens or yung NFT. So a NFT is an idiosyncratic and non-interchangeable unit of data on a digital ledger. So basically, unlike currency na pwede mo ipalit yung pera mo for another set of money, normally NFTs aren't interchangeable by one another. So kung yung piso mo, for example, pwede mo ipalit sa isang piso, sa NFT, hindi siya commonly ginagawa. So kung meron kang NFT, for example, and may isang NFT, hindi siya normally pwedeng i-change talaga. Pwede kayo mag-usap na magpalit kayo ng NFT, pero it's not normally na nagagawa. Unlike sa piso, di ba, na pag may piso ka, pwede mo ipalit sa piso ng isang tao, just like that, nang walang any other conditions. Sa NFTs, iba siya. Hindi siya changeable. Kaya siya tinawag siya na non-fungible token. Kumbaga. And also, to add to this, isang misconception din ng mga tao, akala nila pag NFT, or etong ano na to, akala nila pag NFT, picture lang siya. And to expand on that, tatanungin ko din dito sa inyo, sino dito sa inyo may alam ng iba pang type ng NFT? Merong isang sikat na NFT right now na I think marami sa atin ang hindi nakakalam na NFT. Tingnan natin kung sino makakahula na. Alam nyo ba kung ano yung isang NFT right now na sobrang sikat na hindi alam ng tao na NFT? So, VV Apes, Pegaxi, okay, Apes. Actually, ayun, may mga nakasagot na. So, sabi ni Marcos, Axie, yep, yun yung tinutukoy ko, Axie. And yung Pegaxi, it's actually one NFT din actually. So yung Axie and Pegaxi are actually types of NFT. Which means hindi lang nag-circulate sa mga pictures ng NFT. Even yung nilalaro natin, Axie and Pegaxi, are also types of NFT. So, and hopefully, naka-add din sa ano nyo, sa current knowledge right now. And lastly, probably isa to sa mga pinaka-hinihintay ng mga tao dito. Paano nga ba mag-earn sa cryptocurrency? So, sino dito interesado matuto mag-earn sa cryptocurrency? Type ako. Hindi ko kayo bebentahan dito. Baka isipin nyo, bebentahan ko kayo ng something na ano. Tuturo ko lang yung mga concepts kung paano kumita sa crypto. Hindi ko bebentahan ng course or something like that. Tuturo ko lang yung concept, kumbaga. Kung ano yung mga common ways na pagkita ng ano. What's your simple sa Surfshark? Ay, okay. So, mamaya natin, i-discuss natin yung Ramil. For the, I think may Q&A tayo mamaya eh. I-discuss ko yun mamaya. Actually, may ano rin ako dyan. May take din ako dyan. And some sort of connection din. So, pag-usapan natin yung mamaya. So, yan. So, sa cryptocurrency, ano nga ba yung mga ways para mag-earn? So, here are a few examples. First one is buy and sell. In this case, meron tinatawag sa crypto na buy low and sell high. So, for example, bibili ka ng mura pa ang presyo ng isang crypto, let's say 1,000 peso per 1 Bitcoin. Ibebenta mo siya kapag mabot na siya ng let's say 2,000 per 1 Bitcoin. So, doon ka makikita ng pera. To make it simple, ang dating niya is parang Bumili ako ng isang mansanas, nabili ko siya for 15 pesos for example. For example lang. Bumili ako ng isang mansanas, nabili ko siya for 15 pesos. Then tumaas yung presyo ng mansanas, binenta ko siya to another person ng 25 pesos. So in that case, yung 15 pesos ko, because nag-buy low ako and nag-sell high, kumita ko ng 10 pesos. So parang gano'n na din yung concept ng cryptocurrency, kumbaga. Buying low and selling high. Yep, kumbaga parang nag-increase yung ano niya, yung price niya, to make it simple. Additionally, crypto mining. So crypto mining is, katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, yung mga graphics card. This is also one way to earning cryptocurrency. Magmamine ka ng crypto, magmamine ka ng Bitcoin, then makukuha mo na yung ano na yun, yung cryptocurrency na yun. And pwede mo na siyang i-sell for money then and take your profit. Pangatlo is staking. Pinaka siguro masasabi kong similar concept ng staking is time deposit. So normally, meron tayong mga savings account, di ba? Sa mga digital banks, meron sila binibigay na let's say something 4%, 3%. Yung mga digital banks yun. Para yan sa mga normal na savings account. So yun yung mga savings account na pwede mong i-withdraw anytime. Sa time deposit, it's something na hindi mo pwede galawin for a specific period of time. Let's say 6 months, 12 months, something like that. So parang gano'n din yung staking. So in this case, itatabi mo yung crypto mo for a specific period of time, then kikita ka ng mas malaki than normal. So yun yung concept ng staking. And lastly, play to earn. So ito naman yung playing while earning. So this is way different from streaming. This is actually a concept sa crypto na pag naglaro ka, kikita ka. And sa mga kasama natin dito, sino dito ang naglalaro ng mga play-to-earn games? And anong play-to-earn games ang nilalaro nyo? Kasi kanina may nabanggit na ng Pegaxi and Axie. Tingnan ko kung ano pang ibang play-to-earn games ang nilalaro nyo. Mirror 4. Okay, Mirror 4. Okay. Nakita ko din to. PVU, okay. JTCB. Hindi ko pa narinig to. Splinterlands. Okay, ito narinig ko na to. Along with the Gods. O yan. Right now, sobrang dami na talagang play-to-earn game. So, I'm glad din na at least familiar kayo sa ganitong concept. So, that's also another way to earn in crypto, which is through play-to-earn games. So, ayan. So, that's all of my presentation for this. So, hopefully, may natutunan kayo in this topic and sana naging valuable yung mga natutunan ko sa inyo. And if you want to follow me on my other socials, ito yung mga socials ko. So, sa TikTok, I'm at Mark Senpai Finance. Sa YouTube, Mark Senpai Finance din, although hindi na ako gaano active dito. Sa Instagram naman, I'm Mark Senpai _26. Sa Facebook, andun din ako. I'm John Mark Balakit Fernandez noon. If you want to add me, ilagay ko na lang dito yung yung Facebook. If you want to add me, if you want to ask questions or other things, yep. May Discord group ako, Bernard, pero hindi siya sobrang nababantayan kasi meron din akong other things na inasikaso right now, like yung full-time work. So, medyo hindi ko pa mabantayan talaga ng sobra. Pero I have a Discord group. Pero if you want to contact me, for example, for other things, ito yung Facebook ko. So, ayan, na lang. And ayan, I think we can ask questions natin, mga host. Am I right? Magpo-proceed na ba tayo sa Q&A?
Yes, sir. So, thank you so much, Mr. Fernandez, for that very enlightening presentation. It is true that crypto is making its way to the top of the industry, both publicly and privately. It's becoming well-known commodity and more people are now using it and saving such for personal and business gain. Crypto indeed revolutionizes our digital world as it boosts efficiency in online transactions, consumerism, and the like.
Okay, it is now again the Q&A portion of the program. We are now going to begin answering the questions submitted during today's presentation. Again, as a reminder, guys, you can still submit questions through the chat section. We will also be answering questions from the registration form. Also, please feel free to unmute and open your cameras if you want to ask Mr. Fernandez personally. So while waiting for questions from our participants, let us first take questions from the registration form. So, Sir Mark, are you ready?
Yep, sure.
For our first question, How does blockchain technology revolutionize the public sector, specifically the government, given the current situation of the Philippines? What are the things to be done by the Philippine government in order to maximize the benefits of blockchain technology and Bitcoin?
Ooh, first question mo kung ano na tayo, bigatin agad question gusto ko yung nagtanong yan, malalim agad. So when it comes to blockchain kasi and crypto here sa Philippines, actually meron na rin naman tayong adoption ng crypto sa Philippines pero hindi pa siya as big as other countries. Kasi may mga other countries na katulad ng El Salvador, legal tender na nila ang Bitcoin or nagagamit na siya for everyday use sa country nila. While sa America or sa other countries, ginagamit yung technology talaga ng Bitcoin. Right now, may adoption na rin tayo. May mga apps na tayo like PDAX, CoinsPH for crypto. Pero kung ma-maximize natin yung blockchain technology, one thing I can think of for this is yung sa mga decentralized organization. Sa blockchain, kung implement natin ang blockchain sa crypto, pwede tayo magkaroon ng decentralized na organization kung saan yung organization na yon is managed by the people and not by the by a specific group, for example. So kung magkakaroon tayo, for example, ng organizations for animal shelters, pwede tayo gumawa ng to blockchain. Or for example, kung gusto natin magkaroon ng voting system na decentralized, it's actually possible din through to crypto. And in that case, kung magkakaroon tayo ng blockchain, for example, on crypto on voting, it can actually lessen the risk na magkaroon tayo ng mga dayaan and those kinds of things. Kasi Bitcoin is or crypto is based on codes eh. And sa codes hindi mo siya pwedeng hindi mo siya basta-basta pwedeng dayain dito kasi it's decentralized kumbaga. So for now yun yung masasabi ko doon.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. So before proceeding to our next question, can we request po, sir, na patanggal po ng share screen so we can share our screen then? Thank you.
Sige, sure.
Ayan, sir, for our next question, do you think the Philippines would be able to adopt and would legalize blockchain technology in our country?
Sa gaya ng sabi ko nga dun sa concept ng adoption ng crypto or blockchain sa Philippines, I think it's possible, pero sa current situation kasi ng Philippines right now, parang ang dami pa nating other problems na alam mo yan, na mas maganda pang unahin before adopting on Bitcoin or crypto. Pero I believe na implementing blockchain or crypto sa Philippines would actually help them sa mga problems natin. Like for example on managing our actual funds sa government, it can actually be processed to Bitcoin, especially sa mga local governments. Let's say sa mga for example sa mga organizations like LTOs or yung mga government agencies na gagamitan ng transactions, we can actually implement cryptocurrencies on that. So kung sa tingin ko kung magkakaroon ba ng adoption on crypto for the Philippines, it's actually possible. Pero sa current situation natin right now, tingin ko medyo in a not distant future pa siya right now.
Thank you so much for that very well explained answer. For our next question, since Bitcoin is now widely used and accepted, do you think its value will rise in the future? How does it affect the use of physical money? Is there a possibility of Bitcoin in the next century replacing physical money?
Oh, good question. Sa price ng Bitcoin on rising in the future, yes, I do believe. One reason din yun why I'm investing on Bitcoin myself then and other cryptos. Kasi yung ginagawa niya right now is actually very revolutionary. Gaya nga ng sabi ko, kung yung pera dati controlled lang ng single entity, right now it's controlled by the people na. And it's actually very secure din. Kung dati kung magpapadala ka sa ibang bansa ng pera, sobrang gastos pa ng mga processing fee and sobrang tagal pa. With Bitcoin, it's actually very easy. It can be processed on even just a few minutes lang, like 30 minutes max or 1 hour lang. And kung gamit mo pa is other cryptocurrency, mas mabilis pa siya. So in that case, yes, I do believe crypto and Bitcoin will rise in the future. Magkakaroon lang siya ng iba't ibang cycle na tataas siya, bababa, kasi hindi naman lagi tumataas ang crypto all the time. And sa fact naman na papalitan niya yung pera in the future, it's actually possible din. It's actually possible. Pero ang mas nilook forward ko na scenario right now is not Bitcoin replacing the money. Siguro it's living along with our money system. Kasi unless magkaroon na tayo ng ng mas efficient na sistema sa Bitcoin, kasi ngayon yung sistema ng Bitcoin is not is not very easy pag nagamitin na pera. Pero it's possible na mapalitan niya in the future. And kung mapalitan niya in the future, that's actually something na I would definitely be happy na mangyari.
Okay, for our next question, what are some of the disadvantages of crypto in today's world?
Okay, that's actually a good question. And before I start actually, itong i-share ko na din kasi probably marami sa inyo dito rin ang when it comes to advantages. One thing probably na inisip ng karamihan sa inyo about Bitcoin or crypto is actually the damages about the environment. Manigurado marami sa inyo nag-iisip na crypto is damaging to the environment. And actually, based on a recent research about the use of cryptocurrency, it's actually not that big of a deal compared sa inisip ng karamihan. Kasi Bitcoin mining, di ba, ang laki ng ginagamit niya electricity, and in that case, inisip ng mga tao damaging sa environment. Pero based on the research, actually sobrang late lang ng ginagamit ng Bitcoin mining compared sa buong mundo. And yung damage niya o yung carbon footprint niya is very little. So, yan, to start off lang, based on the recent research, cryptocurrency is not damaging to the environment to start off. Pero when it comes to the disadvantages right now, one part of it is yung risk ng pag-invest dito. Kasi syempre, since ang Bitcoin or ang crypto right now is one way para kumita ng malaki, maraming taong pupasok dito and naglulus ng malaki because of the lack of knowledge. So I think that's one disadvantage kasi sobrang dali niyang pasukin, which means sobrang dali mo din mag-lose ng pera. So I guess one example ng disadvantage niya is that. And ano pa ba? For now siguro yun yung pinaka naisip ko right now kasi right now maganda yung perspective ko naman sa crypto. Pero yun talaga yung investment talaga in losing money. Sobrang damaging na talaga for a lot of people.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Sent in the chat section by Vincent De Lima. Hi, good afternoon, sir. Why central banks or some financial institutions are wary of privately held crypto coins? And why some countries refuse to recognize it as a legal tender?
Sa mga central banks naman, one reason kaya medyo against sila or medyo against nga sila on the concept of Bitcoin and crypto. One reason doon is meron din sila kasing balak na mag-release ng parang own type of cryptocurrency nila, which is called na CBDC. It's central bank digital currency. So first of all, balak nilang gumawa nun. China is actually releasing something right now na tinatawag na digital yuan. Balak nila mag-release ng something na ganon. So in that case kasi, kung gagawa sila ng ganong type ng cryptocurrency and may ibang crypto na sisikat, so it's a threat or a competitor sa balak nila gawin. So that's one reason I can think of. And another thing naman for central banks and a lot of banks din, ganon din talaga, competition din. Kasi yung ginagawang concept right now ng crypto and Bitcoin is actually a technology that's potentially pwede mag-replace ng maraming bagay. It can actually replace banks. It can actually replace institutions, even social media apps. So, yun yung reason kaya maraming sa kanya, maraming against. But for other banks and other institutions, tinatake nila to as something na pwede nilang pasukin. So in that case, instead na kalabanin nila yung iba, sumasali sila, di ba? Parang kumbaga, if you can beat them, join them. Parang ganun ginagawa ng iba. And when it comes to to countries na nagre-refuse na gawin siyang legal tender, right now kasi Bitcoin is not hindi pa siya ganun kadali gamitin na legal tender kasi if you're familiar sa binanggit ko kanina, Bitcoin is pabago-bago yung presyo. Like, it's possible na yung pera mo right now sa Bitcoin, let's say 100 pesos siya worth na Bitcoin, in the next few minutes, pwede siya maging 90 pesos na lang or 80 pesos or pwede rin naman tumaas. So in that case, kung gagamitin mo siya sa isang transaction, for example, bibili ka sa McDonald's, it's not very efficient as of the moment kasi hindi man sobrang tagal sa delay ng transaction ng Bitcoin, or since hindi siya kasing bilis ng normal na transaction, it's possible na maging inefficient siya. Bibili ka ng 100 pesos, tapos pagkasukli sa'yo, 10 na lang yung matitira because of the volatility. So that's one reason kaya hindi siya ginagamit. Although right now, marami ng technology na ginagawa for Bitcoin para maging efficient siya. Meron na tayong tinatawag na Lightning Network. Kumbaga para siyang add-on sa Bitcoin na magagamit mo para mapabilis yung transaction. So in that case, hindi mo na kailangan maghintay ng matagal kung magpo-process ka ng transaction. So that's one thing na naisip ko bakit hindi pa siya ginagawang legal tender for a lot of countries there.
Okay, thank you so much for that answer. For our next question, sent in the chat section by Mr. Joel Torres, who regulates the operation of crypto?
Oh, good question. Actually, Bitcoin or crypto is actually not easily regulated. Hindi siya madaling ma-regulate, especially Bitcoin. Kasi gaya nga ng sabi ko right now, for example, Bitcoin is decentralized. Hindi siya control ng isang single na entity. Hindi siya control ng isang single na group. Hindi for example, like sabihin natin for example sa Tesla, kung i-regulate mo ang Tesla, pwede mo kusapin yung mga CEOs nila like si Elon Musk to regulate it. That's simple. Sa Bitcoin kasi, since it's a large network of people na kasama sa Bitcoin, hindi siya madali ma-regulate. Kasi sabihin natin gagawa ka ng regulations doon, paano mo i-regulate yung millions or thousands of people na connected around the world sa Bitcoin? Yun yung reason kaya hindi siya madali ma-regulate. Pero right now, government agencies sa ibang bansa, sa US for example, like SEC, is finding ways na para i-regulate yung Bitcoin and other crypto. Kasi ayun nga, maraming sobrang bilis na nangyaring growth sa Bitcoin and crypto, kaya naghahanap na sila ng ways to regulate it. And kung familiar din kayo sa XRP na cryptocurrency, meron na rin sila nangyaring doon, tinatawag na lawsuit. And it's parang one step na ginawa nila towards regulation. Kaya for me, right now, wala tayong masasabing isang specific na entity na magre-regulate sa Bitcoin kasi it's global eh. It's global actually. Pero ayun, a few example ng mga entities na sinusubukan na siyang i-regulate is yung SEC. SEC sa mga USA right now.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Another question sent in the chat section by Miss Camille. What do you advise beginners who don't have any background in crypto but want to learn it? Where should we start?
Oh, okay. Where should we start? Okay, so first of all, kung gusto nyo mag-start, pwede kayo mag-start sa TikTok ko. May TikTok ko actually. You can also check me there kung gusto nyo mag-start. Nagpa-post ako noon ng mga videos about crypto actually, crypto contents. And sa YouTube ko din may mga crypto contents ako for may mga YouTube videos ako for crypto sa YouTube ko, although hindi ko na siya na-update. Pero pwede ka mag-start doon. And kung mag-start ka din sa crypto, one tip ko din for you is huwag ka basta-basta mag-invest kung hindi mo pa siya naintindihan ng mabuti. In my opinion, mas okay na mag-research ka ng isang buwan bago ka pumasok sa crypto kaysa hindi ka mag-research tapos pumasok ka na lang bigla. That's something talaga na sobrang delikado. Kasi pag pumasok ka sa crypto without any knowledge, sobrang laki ng malulus mo na pera actually. Kung naalala niyo nangyayari sa Axie Infinity back then, diba maraming tao na pumasok nung sumikat siya sa Jessica Soho and those kinds of things. Maraming pumasok kasi dami kumikita, di ba? Pero since hindi nila pinag-aralan ng mabuti, nung slowly na siya na nag-decline, maraming tao ang nagbenta and nag-take ng loss kasi hindi sila nag-research properly. When in that case, kung pinag-aralan mo siya ng mabuti, mas maiintindihan mo yung nangyayari sa kanya. And probably, mas lesser chance na mag-lose ka ng pera. Kumbaga. No problem, Camille. No problem.
Thank you, sir. For our next question, is Elon Musk influence over Bitcoin or cryptocurrency in general a problem?
Oh, good question, good question. Actually, right now hindi na siya sobrang kasing laki, unlike back then. Pero yung influence niya sa crypto, I think it's para siyang double-edged sword. Pwede siyang maging a good thing and pwede siyang maging bad thing. Obviously, bad thing is parang namamanipulate niya ng madali. Kapag may sinabi siyang isang bagay about Bitcoin or isang cryptocurrency, magbabago agad yung tingin ng mga tao doon. Like last time bumili siya ng Bitcoin, ang dami din bumili ng Bitcoin. Or last time nagbenta siya ng Bitcoin, marami din natakot. So it's a bad thing that way kasi parang namamanipulate niya yung market. Pero it's a good thing for me in another way kasi dahil sa ginagawa niyang actions na parang masasabi natin manipulation, although hindi naman directly masasabi na gano'n. Pero sa ginagawa niya kasing actions, maraming tao ang na-force na matuto ng crypto. In what way? For example, kung nag-tweet siya ng something and let's say bumagsak ang presyo ng isang crypto and nag-lose sila ng pera, once natalo yung tao, ano mangyari sa kanya? Magpo-force siya na parang mag-isip, ba't ako nag-lose ng pera, ba't ganito? Ano bang ginawa ko mali? So in that case, napo-force na yung mga tao na hindi nag-aral ng mabuti na mas mag-aral talaga ng maayos. Kasi nga, nag-suffer sila ng consequence. So for me, although in some cases it's damaging, for me it's still a good thing pa din for me kasi mas ginagawa niyang solid yung yung foundation ng Bitcoin or ng crypto. Kasi kung papasok ka sa crypto kasi kung maraming taong papasok sa crypto and hindi sila knowledgeable about it, mahirap yun mag-rise in the future. Kasi isipin mo kung majority na naghahawak ng crypto is hindi knowledgeable. Sobrang hirap nun. Pag nagkaroon ng bad news, babenta lahat, babagsak yung presyo. Pag nagkaroon ng good news, tataas agad. Just like that. So it's very impractical. So for me, yung mga ginagawa niyang actions and probably other groups din is actually helping din yung crypto in the long term, in my perspective.
Okay, thank you so much. We have another question from Anonymous. What is the best platform to trade crypto?
Okay. Bet ko yung Anonymous. So, best platform to invest ba? Anong sabi pala? Sorry.
What is the best platform to trade crypto?
Okay, to trade. Actually, personally, hindi ako active trader. I know how to trade. I know how to do technical analysis and charting. Pero hindi ako active trader na, alam mo yun, yung may mga nakikita kayong gumagawa ng charts, nag-drawing and nagka-trade. Hindi ako active trader. Ang ginagawa ko lang is nagba-buy and hold. Bibili ako, then i-hold ko siya, ibibili ko, hold. Tapos sometimes magta-take profit ako. So in a way, parang trading na rin siya. Pero even though ganon, for me, one of the best platform pa rin na gamitin for trading or for crypto is Binance talaga. Binance kasi is the largest cryptocurrency exchange right now sa buong mundo. And for me, siya yung pinaka madaling gamitin actually for a lot of people. And accessible din naman siya sa Philippines kasi meron tayo dito mga payment channels na directly sa Philippines na pwede kang bumili through GCash, pwede ka bumili through your banks. So for me, Binance talaga for now yung pinaka bet ko na exchange for crypto overall right now.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Another question from Anonymous. Can herd mentality be observed in cryptocurrency?
Herd mentality? Yes, definitely. Kasi sa crypto kasi mapapansin nyo, meron kasi doon tinatawag na market sentiment. So yung market sentiment, kumbaga yun yung perspective ng tao sa crypto. Meron siya tinatawag na fear and greed. Dalawa yon. Mostly mapapansin nyo sa market, based on sa herd mentality, may times na ang market is sobrang fearful. Like for example, back then, nagkaroon ng news na ibaban daw ang crypto sa China. Nagkaroon ng herd mentality na, ibaban daw sa China, this is a bad thing, magbenta tayo. So in that case, nangyayari herd mentality in that case. And additionally, for the opposite thing din, kapag nagkakaroon ng good news, nagkakaroon din ng ganung type of movement. So for me, it's definitely happening in crypto, and mapapansin mo talaga siya sa crypto. And in most cases, actually, from my experience, madalas magbe-benefit ka on crypto kapag andun ka sa may smarter group of people na hindi basta-basta sumasabay sa herd. Kasi kapag sumabay ka sa herd madalas, it's most probably huli ka na. And in most cases, kapag sumunod ka doon, it's very likely na mag-lose ka ng money in that case.
Okay, thank you so much. For the next question by Miss Jocelyn Bagista. How safe is the cryptocurrency?
When it comes to, it depends on what context yung tinutukoy mo sa safe. Kung tinutukoy mo na context na safe is security or secured, like, alam mo yun, hindi basta-basta mahahack, hindi basta-basta, alam mo yun, mananakaw ng kung sino. Actually, Bitcoin, or sa Bitcoin tayo mag-focus, Bitcoin is actually the safest na, kumbaga, na network in the world right now. Kasi nga, di ba, ang daming part ng network ng Bitcoin. So in that case, maraming tao nagsisecure nito. So in that context, it's one of the safest sa ganung context. Pero kung tinutukoy mo naman about sa value, na safe ba siya na pagtabihan ng pera, it's a different story naman. Kasi in that case, kung maglalagay ka ng pera mo sa Bitcoin, pwede magbago-bago yung price niya. Pwedeng tumaas yung presyo, pwedeng bumaba yung presyo. So in that context, hindi siya as safe as normal na pera natin. So for me, it depends on the context. Kung security ng network, it's very secured. Pero when it comes to storing your money in value, it's very volatile right now.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. We have another anonymous question. Why do you think other countries like India said that cryptocurrencies pose serious threat to the nation's macroeconomic and financial stability?
Oh, okay. Sige. Naano ko sa mga anonymous question. Parang ano tawag doon? Basta anonymous. Pero that's okay naman. That's okay. Naano lang ako. Sa India, when it comes to macroeconomics, ganun din, kagaya din ng sinabi ko kanina sa katulad sa mga central banks. From what I remember, India din is planning na magkaroon sila ng central bank digital currency. Kumbaga parang own representation nila ng crypto. So first of all, since gumagawa sila ng ganon, it's already a threat sa kanila kung mag-a-adapt yung mga tao sa crypto instead of their digital currency. So that's one factor. Pero additionally, another factor kaya nakaka-apekto siya kasi maraming tao ang kung maraming tao ang mag-adapt sa cryptocurrency sa isang bansa, then it's possible na yung pera nila o yung currency nila is mawala ng power. And kung mapapansin nyo, in most countries, ang power ng government is nakadepende is nakabase sa sa money. So kung yung pera nila is not as powerful na sa isang bansa, then it's a threat for the country. So I think yun yung context na tinitingnan nila doon, na what if maraming tao ang hindi na gumamit ng rupees or yung Indian rupees na pera nila, and instead gumamit na ng crypto. And in turn, dumating sa point na mawala na ng value yung pera nila, which is obviously a threat for the government and yung control nila over the country, kumbaga.
Okay, thank you so much. For our next question, sent in the chat section by Mr. Terence Monang. Sir, what do you think on what is happening on the NFT community, in where others started stealing art for their own NFTs and others uses NFT as a way to scam others? Will this cause damage on NFTs or in other forms of cryptocurrency?
Oh, okay. When it comes to sa stealing arts and sa scams, it's actually a common thing na nangyayari sa crypto. And syempre it's a bad thing. Syempre wala namang gustong mangyari na magkaroon ng mga scams and steals and everything. Pero masasabi ko kasi dyan, in almost every industry nangyari naman siya. Hindi lang naman siya sa crypto. for something na very big, it's inevitable na magkaroon ka ng, alam mo yun, magkaroon ka ng portion of people na would do something bad. 'Di ba? Hindi mo naman makakontain na lahat ng tao mabuti, hindi mo makakontain na lahat ng tao is, alam mo yun, sumusunod sa proper etiquettes. So it's definitely mangyari. Pero I think it's something talaga na dapat masolusyonan talaga. And for me, the best solution for this is definitely mag-research talaga tayo. Kasi once nag-research ka, kahit sino pang bad person na makasalamuha mo, mas malaki chance mo na makaiwas sa mga taong yun. So probably that's the best defense. And going back din sa isang question nung user kanina, I don't know yung name niya, yung binagat sa chat. Recently may nangyaring scam from an NFT community na Surfshark Society. So I don't know if familiar kayo doon sa Surfshark Society. Pero it's actually a community na medyo nagkaroon din ako ng connection. Kasi siya, Surfshark Society kasi is an NFT community din in the Philippines, and nakita ko yung project nila, na-research yung project nila. They're actually good. Maganda yung naging ganap nila, ay maganda yung mga naging process nila so far. That's why I partnered with them. So gumawa lang ako ng video about them para review and ano yung opinion ko sa kanila. Then I recommended it. Pero recently, it actually turns out na nagkaroon sila ng tinatawag na rug pull or parang tinatawag na scam. So ang nangyari doon, yung developers daw nila, base sa statement nila, yung developers daw nila is tinakbo yung funds nila. So isipin nyo, in that case, in my part, I'm someone na nag-research on that. I'm someone na nag-spend ng time para pag-aralan siya. Pero, 'di ba, napunta pa din ako on something na ganun, na scam or those kinds of things. So ganun talaga siya ka common na nangyari. So ayun, when it comes to crypto talaga, it is the best way talaga for everyone na pag-aralan talaga siya. Kasi ayun, like one simple mistake lang na mangyari sa crypto, pwede kang mag-lose ng marami. Pero at the same time, kaya nga may tawag tayo na high risk, high reward. It's also possible na pwede ka rin mag-earn ng malaki. So kumbaga, ayun nga, talaga siya. Double-edged sword nga talaga siya. Pwede siya maging maganda sa'yo, pwede siya maging pangit. Kaya it's better talaga na pag-aralan talaga siya before entering.
Okay, sir, for our second to the last question from Marcos Troy. Sir, what are leverage coins? Is it safe to trade leverage crypto coins?
Leverage coins, I think na narinig ko na siya back then. Kasi ang leverage coin kasi, if magte-trade ka sa kanya, it's lang din para ka lang din nagte-trade ng normal talaga na crypto na may leverage lang din. Ang leverage coin kasi, from what I know, is na siya, nakadikit na sa kanya leverage. Kumbaga, default na siya, kumbaga. So, for me, kung magte-trade ka ng leverage coin, wala pa akong experience on buying it and trading it. Pero, for me, it really depends talaga sa knowledge mo. Siguro kung professional trader ka na knows a lot of trading strategies or expert ka na, it's probably something you can use. Pero for beginners, I don't think it's something na pwede gamitin ng mga beginners. Probably you can just lose money sa that type of way, kumbaga. Kung gagamit ka ng ganong types of coins.
Okay, for our last question sent in by Miss Roxani. Sa current times po, with all the events happening, wise po ba mag-hold ng Bitcoin or Ether?
Okay. So, I think it's Ethereum. For me, ito yung sabi ni Ramil, spot daw muna before leverage up. Agree din ako. You should consider spot muna before doing other trades. Pero yun, when it comes sa tanong naman nung last question, is it wise daw ba to hold Bitcoin or Ether right now? Actually, ang take ko dyan is this. This is something na definitely can change. This is just an educated guess from me. Kasi wala naman makapredict ng future. Hindi naman natin mahulaan saan mapupunta yung market. Hindi naman natin mahulaan exactly kung ano yung mangyari. Pero for me, based sa mga research ko and data right now, I believe na it's still wise to hold crypto. Definitely. Especially kung long-term ang goal mo. Especially kung ang goal mo is 5 to 10 years to hold definitely, you should definitely hold it. And kung sa short term naman right now, it's expected na magkaroon tayo ng tinatawag na bear market soon. So kung di kayo familiar sa bear market, it's parang a cycle sa market na puro pababa lang ang price movement. So it's possible na mangyari siya anytime soon. So for me, right now, naniniwala pa naman ako wala pa tayo sa stage na yon. So it's possible na magkaroon pa tayo ng possible na pagtaas ng price. Pero it's not guaranteed, gaya ng sabi ko. Pero yun yung ina-expect ko as of this moment in my side. So for me, holding it, especially kung long term, definitely. Kung long term lalong hold mo.
All right. Thank you so much, Sir Fernandez, for your very insightful answers. However, because of strict time constraints, we won't be able to entertain questions anymore. So thank you very much to those participants who submitted their questions for this plenary.
And now, to give recognition to the top speaker, may I call on Ms. Pamela Junior Phoenix Business Manager Internal for the awarding of the Plaque of Appreciation.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Allow me to present this Plaque of Appreciation awarded by St. Louis University and the Junior Financial Executives of the Philippines. SLU chapter presents this Plaque of Appreciation to Mr. John Mark Fernandez for actively imparting his expertise and skills during the virtual conference entitled Data Analytics Summit 2022, The Rise of Digital Transformation and Financial Technology, held on February 12, March 5, and 12, 2022 via the Zoom conference, given this 5th day of March 2022. Signed by Mr. Xavier S. Cabungcal, President and CEO of Junior Phoenix SLU and Head of Executions of Data Analytics Summit 2022, Ms. Carla Claveria, Program Director, Ms. Angelica Shenda, Head of Partnership, and Dr. Zenedith P. Monang, the Junior Financial Executives of the Philippines Advisor, and Mrs. Carazeli Furigay, Business Economics and Financial Management Department. Again, we want to express our deepest gratitude to you, sir, for giving us your time, for generously sharing your experience and expertise, especially in Bitcoin, and for your very interactive talk that made our participants more interested and invested with Bitcoin. Thank you, sir.
Thank you din for inviting me. And I really like yung mga ganitong talks din actually. That's why I entertained it in nung I think February ata ko in-invite dito. So yeah, I really enjoyed it then. So thank you for inviting me and hope to see you guys more in the future then, if ever.
May I call upon the Plaque signatories to open the camera for opportunities with Mr. Fernandez. May I also call upon Ms. Isabel to please take the photos.
So on 3 po. 1, 2, 3, smile. One more time po. On 3. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay na po. Thank you.
Thank you. Ay, wait lang, may nag-PM sa akin I think si Xavier ata to, shoutout to. Sige po, shoutout po kay Xavier. Hello. Good afternoon.
We are beyond grateful to have you, Sir Fernandez, as our speaker for today. Your talk was not only extremely informative, but also kept everyone entertained. Your kind presence not only attracted a great strength of participants, but also kept everyone amused with your deep insights on the subject of your talk. Again, thank you so much, sir. We would also like to thank everyone who attended, and we hope to see you at the last day of our event.
Before we formally say goodbye to Mr. Fernandez, let us again take a groupie, so we encourage everyone to please open their cameras. We will give you 10 seconds to do so.
Ay, yap, groovy. Para may din. Yep.
May I call on again Miss Isabel to please take the photo.
Okay po, on 3 ulit. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay po, next stage po.
Ayaw nga pala, madami pala tayo.
Okay po. On 3 po ulit. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay po. Okay po. 1, 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay po. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay na po. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you once again, Mr. We are so grateful to have you, Mr. Fernandez, and we hope to see you again next time.
We would like to thank the Analytics Association of the Philippines
and eClaro for making this event possible. We would also like to thank our school partner organizations, kataas-taasang sanggunian ng mga mag-aaral, Supreme Student Council, School of Accountancy, Management, Computing, and Information Studies Assembly, who is also sponsoring this event.
Tuitions imbibe with genuine hospitality transformation, St. Louis University,
St. Louis University Laboratory High School, Senior High School Department,
Progressive Economist Solidarity, St. Louis University,
Junior Financial Executives Tarlac State University,
Junior Financial Executives Far Eastern University, Diliman,
Junior Financial Executives St. Louis College, La Union,
Junior Financial Executives University of the East, Manila,
Junior Financial Executives De La Salle University, Dasmariñas,
Junior Financial Executives Adamson University,
Junior Philippine Institute of Accountants, St. Mary's University,
and Junior Philippine Institute of Accountants Northeastern Colleges. We hope to see you again on the third and last day of our Data Analytics Summit 2022 with the topic Data Warehousing and Mining on Saturday, March 12 from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m.
We would like to remind everyone that attending our 3-day event is mandatory to receive a certificate of participation. Attendance of a minimum of 3 plenaries is required.
Your views on the program are important to us and we want to hear your feedback so that we can keep improving our content. So please fill out the evaluation form that will be sent to the chat section and let us know your thoughts.
At this juncture, we would like to take this opportunity to promote the newest program, St. Louis University's School of Advanced Studies, the Financial Technology. The curriculum was prepared under Trust Erasmus Project with 6 universities, 3 of which are from the Philippines: St. Louis University, Mapua University, and University of Cebu, while the other 3 are from Vietnam.
There will be a total of 30 units to finish the program. Here are the following courses to be offered: Analytics and Programming and Finance,
Money, Banking, and Financial Institutions,
Innovation, Entrepreneurship, and Entrepreneurship in Fintech Context,
Ethics and Professional Standards in Finance,
Data Mining,
Finance, Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning,
Monetary System and Digital Finance,
Blockchain and Applications,
Financial Entrepreneurship,
Asset Pricing and Portfolio Management,
Business Analytics and Artificial Intelligence,
Advanced Corporate Finance,
Financial Econometrics and R-Python,
and Business Valuation in Fintech Context. For more information and inquiries, please do not hesitate to contact the following contact details that are flashing on your screen. Again, thank you very much, guys, and we deeply appreciate your time and effort to be with us today. So, see you again next week, and enjoy the rest of the day, Financialistas! Bye!
Bye!
Recording stopped.